Good morning.
Good morning, Lainey. Margot. Hi, Margot. I think you're muted, Margot, and Renee as well.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning. We're up early, aren't we?
Yeah.
Early birds here.
You know, my husband gets up really early for work always, so he's like looking at me like, what are you doing around? I'm usually
my space. Yeah.
He's like not used to me.
Yeah. So does everyone have something that Bruce made us smoothies this morning for?
Oh, good. Oh, I missed that.
His contribution to the retreat, he says.
How is he doing with everything?
He's good. Our hot water heater went out yesterday.
Ours did too.
You're kidding.
No.
So you both feel fresh with nice cold water shower?
Oh, well, we have 3 kettles, electric kettles, and we just pour them into the tub, and it takes like a half an hour. You can still get a bath, and so.
Well, I had the last hot shower yesterday afternoon, so I'm like, okay, I'm lucky then, right? So, yeah, he replaced it. We have a tankless one in there now.
Ah.
So this is the first one we've had like that. So there's some hose, an original hose that was in there that busted now. So it was all ready to go. The hose busted. So now we had to wait, of course, till this morning to the Home Depot to open because it was already past 6 p.m. when the hose broke.
He worked so hard to take care of you. It's lovely.
I know. And then, yeah, so we had no hot water all night, but that's fine. So we'll have hot water today sometime. So, Dia.
Yes.
Here? Hi, Dia.
Can you see me? It says.
No.
Doesn't look like yet. Okay. I'm doing this on my iPad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're.
Start video.
Dia is our new member to the group, Dia Costello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Dia.
Hi.
Hi.
And maybe I don't want to put you on the spot, first of all, but I guess since since we have you on the call, maybe you want to give us a little bit of information about yourself. Dia's been doing healing for I guess decades.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So sure. So I'm let's see. Important things are my birthday's tomorrow. That's the most important thing about me.
That's the most important
thing. So I am trained as a clinical social worker. I've been one for 29 years. And I started doing energy healing work about 22 years ago. First working with veterans, because my specialty has been PTSD and trauma. And so I've done a lot of different kinds of modalities, trained a lot because I love learning, and it's, never ever evolving field. So people come to me for, now it's, kind of quite a bit of a combination, but not just trauma, but they come to me because I do an integrative approach. So some of the trainings that I've done in the past, if you're interested, is, oh, good Lord, like EFT, very basic emotional freedom therapy, TAT, Tapas acupressure technique, which I love still, use that a lot still. The Ewan method, he's from California. Theta healing, which Vianna's from, I think she's in Utah. I've done a lot of international work. So 2 days a week, I do work over the phone. Well, these days I do all my work over the phone, don't I? Yeah, I'm always learning, and I kind of do my own combination of things. It really depends on the person's nervous system. has been my experience, but where I'm definitely not as strong is doing physical healing. I'm really plugging into the body. Some people call me an emotional intuitive, whatever that means. But the physical piece is the piece I think that I'm missing. I've been doing the muscle testing and, chakra balancing and a lot of the things that have been really helpful for people over the years.
Wow, very good, Dia. Yeah, you've got quite a combination of experience, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and some of those are, I'm familiar with some of the terms because I have a friend who has an MS, social work degree, and so she's trained in a lot of different modalities too. And I found that there's a couple there that really were helpful. Like I don't know if anyone heard this, but had this fear of being of heights and being on mountains. Traveling on mountains, climbing, whatever. And I'm sure it's because I was pushed off a mountain before,
Right.
It's another lifetime. So I hadn't done any work really too much on that myself, but my friend Val, who has that MS designation, she did all this kind of training, and whatever it was, I guess it was something with the eyes, and then it like freeze. And then
EMDR. She did
eye movement.
Eye movement desensitization retraining.
Yeah,
right.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, and
Yep.
whatever it was, though, it did work. And she goes, okay, so now if you're thinking about going up the side of this cliff, how do you feel now? And it was like way down. Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I did a unusual, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I did a year's worth of EMDR training, and it was a pilot study program. Usually it's just a 3-day weekend class. And I love that a lot. Sometimes though it can be a little over intense for people. So now I do something that came out of that movement called brain spotting, which is kind of a horrible name. Sounds scary, but it's really not. And it's wonderful.
Oh,
it's wonderful so anyway, yeah, I mean, EMDR is great, but it can be for some people, especially if it's a deep trauma, really too much. And brain spotting is a little more, you're more in control. No one's moving their eyes. You're more in control of the spot you're looking at. It's really cool. It addresses the midbrain. I mean, that's not very technical, but that's as much as I understand it. So the top brain is language and logic, and midbrain is emotion and image, and the back brain is that, reptilian brain.
Right.
And this, you can access your midbrain through your eyes.
Oh.
So it's really interesting. And brain spotting, the therapist helps you just find the spot that makes you feel a little less agitated or a little more. And you just look at the spot, and the stuff unwinds really amazingly.
Oh.
It's really cool.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that plus you were going to be doing the brain Monday, day 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
So yes, maybe a combination of having the healings all around would be interesting for you.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dia. Very nice. So yeah, welcome. And she has been training with me to get up to speed and took the level 1. So I felt she would be a good addition here. And as well as with Renee, she's been training with me too. Renee Landers, are you there, Renee?
I am. Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
Waking up and doing well. Excited to be here.
Are you a 7:30 person too?
No, 9:30.
Oh, that's
not
right.
A morning person.
Okay. Oh, just not a morning. Okay. So Renee, do you want to introduce yourself to the group?
Sure. My name is Renee Landers, and I live in San Antonio, Texas.
That's
I'm a spiritual teacher and psychic healer. I've been full-time in business for almost 18 years, and then part-time for 5 before that. And I love learning new things. And I was very much drawn to this work and Marlene, and I'm excited to learn more.
Very good. Okay, so you're a spiritual teacher, and you've been doing healing work for what did you say? 10 plus?
Almost 18 years full time, and then 5 years part time before that.
Wow. Okay, so you've got a lot of skills and experience then too.
Correct.
Wonderful. Okay, so so this is going to be an open discussion, an open community. So there's not just one way to, I don't want to say skin a cat. I've got feral cats now, since I don't have dogs that I'm feeding. So feeding the neighborhood. But there's more than one way to do things. Now I'm teaching you this way, and this way works. You can use this technique and it will work, especially as I'm telling you. And then we're working now this weekend on the physical mostly. Now today is going to be DNA and timelines, so a little bit of prep work here to use in combination with the physical. So so this is good. But if there are things that that come to you saying, oh wow, that would really be cool if we used it in combination with something like this, then let's go ahead and share, so that other people kind of know what you're thinking, and see what comes up for us too. So I'm going to go through several different things, and I've got quite a bit packed in here, and I don't know if this is going to be an overload, so we're going to have things popping out at the seams afterwards, but whatever happens to be left undone, we have Zoom meetings after follow-up meetings, so we'll get everything in if we don't get it all in this particular 4 days. So let's go ahead and let's do the rest of the introductions. Margot, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. I'm on mute, but lovely to be here with everyone. Nice to see you, Marlene. Just always so inspired, and yeah, just excited to carry on. Really excited. I've just had such expansion since level 1, profound expansions. Yeah, lots happening. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah, wonderful. And then you use horses in your.
Yeah, I have a varied experience. My background, I would say my specialty is also trauma and just different modalities. It's so interesting because the trajectory of my experience, I look back and I started so much in an intellectual framework with cognitive therapy, in my head, and helping people just change their thinking. And it's just been a progressive expansion from there into, I started with energy healing, Reiki, reconnective healing, and then moved more into metaphysical. I'm ordained minister in metaphysics, and just such a fascination with all things non-physical, and expanded into a spiritual practice that's just opened so much up for me. And healing in the divine, trying to bring in more divine feminine leadership for women. And then through that practice, the horses were brought to me, which it was just, again, divine intervention. I am not a horse person. I was through meditation, horses kept coming through right into my third eye. I've got the goosebumps all over my body. And the horses started speaking to me, and I started to feel like a crazy horse animal lady. And so I didn't really listen. And then I saw a friend on Facebook with this image shortly after these visions were coming, and she was with a horse, and the connection between her and the animal was so profound. And it's just, again, I had worked so much to cultivate my intuition, and I thought, okay, get out of your head. And I want what she has with that animal. I don't know what it is, but I have to have it. And I stepped up and gave the trainer a lot of money and said, I'm in. And so then began working with horses in partnership for healing, and really the most profound and healing modality I've ever experienced personally. So beautiful, because I could get out of the way, just as it's really just about holding sacred space then, and letting the animal channel what's coming through. So the partnerships are just so beautiful. So yes, now I'm a crazy horse person who loves horses, and forever grateful. And I find that the quantum work with the horse wisdom is just deepening the healing experience for clients. It's beautiful. So yeah, that's me. And then personally, I have, I would say my number one purpose is being a mom and family person, so I just adore my family and really grateful for these tools too. I would say that's where the quantum healing has been the most profound. Marlene helped me so much with a trauma we went through with our daughter this past year. So the application of the principles and healings myself have just made me want to share them with other people.
Mhm. Wonderful. Thank you, Margot. Margot, you have a daughter and a son, and Dia, she has a daughter and a son.
No,
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
similar
pretty
ages.
special, pretty special.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment over here.
Yeah.
I think Margot's much more elevated than I am.
Oh,
Well, no, we've had our moments too.
I'm almost 16-year-old and almost 23-year-old.
Yeah. Lots of transitions there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah. And Dia, you're in the Washington, D.C. area, yeah?
Yep. I'm in Maryland. My office is in DC. If it gets a little too noisy here in my bedroom, I might go into my office the next 3 days. We'll see.
Okay. All right. And Margot, you are in Canada.
Oh, I'm in Canada, yeah, just West Coast, just outside of Vancouver.
Okay. All right. And Renee, you said that you are you're in San Antonio, Texas.
Yes,
Do you have any kids?
I do not.
No. Okay. All right. Well, we're your new family.
Yay.
Yay. And Lainey. Hi, Lainey.
Hi.
You're from Albuquerque, New Mexico, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And you've been doing some healing work for quite a while too, is that right? I mean, you have a lot.
Yeah. So I guess my gateway tool was Reiki, and that was probably a couple decades ago by now, maybe a little bit more.
Like that's
Got
like a
into
gateway drug.
something. Pardon?
Sorry, I'm laughing. It's like a gateway drug. It's,
Yeah, exactly.
It is. It is.
It's cute.
And then I got into something called energy radiance, which is kind of there's a medical intuitive component, and then there is a healing component. So you go and find stuff and then you heal it. It's working with like ascended masters and celestials. So that has really been my mainstay big tool over the years. Well, I've picked up a couple others, but the quantum stuff just really intrigued me, and I have just loved it. I think it's an awesome tool to have since, level 1. I started out like, oh, it takes forever, and now it's like, oh, ping, ping, ping. It's cool. It's awesome. So I'm loving the tool. I'm trying to learn how to combine stuff as well. The other tool that I got about the same time as Energy Radiance is something called a MAP, Medical Assistance Program. So that's also working with higher level healers on the other side too. It's very similar actually to the Energy Radiance, but it's more of a kind of you do it by yourself. So yeah, my day job is a computer scientist. So I do this on the weekends and I do crafting on the weekends.
Talk about right and left brain. Uh-oh.
Yeah, well actually I should say the other left brain part is I've been over the past decade been getting really into the nutrition from the functional medicine nutrition side and the epigenetics and if you have these genes for a disease, you don't even have to get the disease in most cases, or you can lower your percentage risk of getting them to very, very low for a lot of things. So that's been very empowering to me. It's like, oh, if I just work on my diet and lifestyle and don't eat crappy stuff like the standard American diet, all these genetic things that are in my family, I don't have to get. I may have to be a little bit more careful, but I don't have to get them.
Interesting. Love it. Yeah, Lainey is very interesting person to talk to as well, and so intelligent, and that just spills out over into everything she's done so far. We rely on Lainey for that. So welcome, Lainey. Glad you're here.
And these two will be in my lap the entire time. So this is Aurora, and this is Bliss.
Aurora?
Oh, cute.
Aurora and Bliss.
So there are children.
Oh, okay. Very nice. And we have an 18-year-old son who is not apparently going to experience prom or graduation this year. He's a senior. Yeah.
Oh, that's just too bad.
Yeah, and he's got a girlfriend now, and he asked her to the prom, and that was just, like last month, right? So anyway.
Yeah, so many disappointments for the younger kids. It's heart-wrenching.
Yeah, they had an email, oh, come pick up your cap and gown that we
Oh
ordered
gosh.
in whenever that was, it's like, we paid $50 for that, and now what? What are you gonna do with it? Just different kind of thing, but okay.
Maybe you put some pictures.
Yeah. Yeah.
A virtual prom, yeah.
Virtual prom. They're talking about doing a virtual graduation.
Yeah, right.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. The prom, you're gonna have to hold your partner 6 feet away. Goofy. All right, Jan. Jan's here. Hi, Jan. How are you doing?
Hi, Jan.
I'm good.
Anything? And you're from is it Toronto, or what part of Canada are you in?
Oh, I think she's muted.
Oh, okay.
No, her muting icon is not on. She may have dropped.
Okay.
No, her muting icon is on.
Yeah, Jan is on the Eastern time as well. She's in, I believe it's Toronto area. I could probably look it up on my computer here.
And Marlene, I just got a message from my daughter's school system saying that, and I don't know if this is part of it or not, that Zoom is getting overloaded and people are experiencing a lot of today partial outages. So
Yeah,
it could also be a platform issue.
I can't see any of you now.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Yes.
there you are.
Yes, we can. Yep. So you're in London, Ontario. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was saying I'm having trouble with my laptop. So I'm on my phone. So that may be why you can't see me.
Okay.
But my son will be getting it sorted out. So by the afternoon, I think I'll be able to be on the laptop. But anyways, I'm here.
All right. Well, that's great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Dia and Renee, I can't see you. Can anyone else see them?
I can't figure out how to
No.
get for some, I know. I wish you could. I don't know. Whenever I keep doing start video, it's
You
telling me to
yeah.
access my camera, but it worked yesterday, so I don't quite know. I'm worried I'm gonna disconnect things.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing where it's not allowing my camera to work. It's saying to adjust my settings.
Oh, good. I don't.
Never had that before.
Oh, I've had where this camera went off on this computer for about a week. And then when I tried it, I shut my computer off, turned it back on, and it booted back up, and I've had it ever since.
Yeah, that was one of the recommendations. So I figured I would do that during the pause or during the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're all here and we're all able to, well, as long as you can see the screen, because I've got some things I'm going to put up for you.
Yeah, I can see everything. I just can't.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Well, that's great. All right. So, very nice. Glad you're all here and we're all able to.
Is Margot here?
Hi, Jen.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I can see you.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Fellow Canadian.
Yeah.
Yes, the two of us.
Yeah, we cover a lot of ground here. So from the West Coast to the East Coast,
Yeah.
2 different countries.
And what about Jody?
Oh, Jody's not going to be in this level too. She doesn't know if she's like mastered level 1 completely yet. She wants to integrate that a little bit more. We've been talking, and she's wanting to do some personal work for a little bit, and then she wants to maybe jump into a level 2 when she's feels more ready. So yeah, she loves you guys. It's just the way she feels that it's working for her right now.
Yeah, timing's not right. Oh, just sent a bunch of hearts on my phone. That's so funny. She must be vibrating. Her hearts just came through my phone. Love you.
Oh, very nice.
I'll tell her we were just talking about her.
Yeah. Did you hear it?
She's so funny.
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit, not too much. This has gone on a little ad nauseum with a little bit of, oh, we have Janie, here she is. Hi, Janie. Can you hear me? Connecting to audio, it says. Janie I was wondering if she's jumping on, and here she is. Looks like her audio is trying to come online. Well, as soon as you get audio, we'll introduce you, Janie, okay? So she's been working with me to do level 1 as well. So she's now ready for level 2. And so we welcome Janie Radford. Janie is in the Atlanta area. So very good. We have quite a group here. We've got 6 people all together, plus me. That's 7. That's a divine number, I guess.
Good number.
Yeah. All right, very nice. So let's talk about a little bit about what's happening in the world and what does that mean to what we do and us. So let's talk about world events, unprecedented. This is a time that we have never been through before. At least I know I have never lived this type of, yeah, just a second.
Uh-oh.
So we all know what's going on in the world, and I believe that there's opportunities here. So things that we haven't and other people haven't experienced before could be an opportunity for us to take this healing modality and take our gifts and skills out into the world. There's a time of crisis right now. Many people are feeling the effects. Many people are anxiety. There's a lot of people who work with, and probably Dia knows that as well, that there's people who have anxiety issues that are really having a hard time right now. So there's some fears, obviously, with people, and the unknown, I think, is what it is. When you bring the unknown in, there's a lot of variables that people just don't know how to deal with. So, as healers too, we have jobs to do, and so this brings to, maybe we should mute, I'm not sure. Let's mute everybody for now and see if that, we'll do Jan here too. Okay. And Dia. Okay. All right. So let's see if this helps. So there's a lot of messages, things coming in right now too. So if anyone is receiving information, maybe we can share a little bit about what's your experience, things happening, anything the universe or the multiverse, as I like to call it, is telling you, anything that you're being led to do or getting messages about doing. I done some work in the last few weeks personally, and I'm just going to kind of give you just a little high level here. I lived on Lemuria, right? Lemurian, and I was a keeper, if you will, of an area of Lemuria, and that meant that I kept the land, I kept the animals, and the the plants, the plant life. And I also was the I had the Temple of Rejuvenation. So it all starts making sense, about from a child collecting rocks and shells and just all that. I had rocks all over my bedroom. And my dad used to say, oh, she's got rocks in her head. I don't know what that meant, but I was always collecting rocks and putting them in the car when we ever went somewhere. So my dad had this load of rocks he was carrying around everywhere. But it all makes sense because that's what I did. And so, now I still have beautiful crystals. I've got rocks all over my desk. They just all congregate here. Beautiful pieces of, just stuff that makes me feel good, sitting around me. And so what this means to me is I resonate with elementals, the like the fairies and that, the little things, right? And I see them and they kind of hang around me. So there's little sometimes in video, my husband's recorded me, and we've seen like little purple things flying around me, moving or green. So that's who I am, and I found who I was. And what that means, though, to current day and opportunities is, yes, the rejuvenation, being the owner of a Temple of Rejuvenation, that makes sense to do what I'm doing. But also there are things that I can incorporate now with what I remember doing into what I do now. So it's just more of bringing that and integrating everything into what I'm doing here and expanding on it, obviously. So that's my story of what messages that I got and how to bring things out into the world. And also it can be, working with oils, and thinking of blending some oils and coming up with something that's really unique. And herbs and different things like that. So that's where my juice comes from. It just feels, whoo, that just feels so good to me. And so that's my personal story. There's a lot of things that I'm sure that can come up for, and just like Margot with the horses, and she found her path through, getting information and working through the horses. So as a channel, I think that's wonderful. And so in a certain way, she's getting information through that, whereas I could get information through crystals, so, and by the way, crystals do amplify. So anything that you're working on, or a person or a client or whatever, if you're holding a crystal, it will speed things up. So, so this is another great reason to have these beautiful, beautiful, and this is Crystal. Say hi, Crystal. Anyway, they will speed things up. I have, oh, here she is. Got a bigger one too. She's, this is the rose quartz. But these, oh, there's my doggies here. Oh, under my crystal. So these will speed things up. They'll speed up your healing. And you can muscle test to see how much this will speed things up for you by just holding them or just having them in your hand, sometimes just in your lap while you're doing things. And, actually this one travels with me and goes places. with me in my pocket. So anyway, our messages are coming through is what I'm trying to say, a little bit more than maybe before, and especially if you're asking, right? So this is the reason to tap into our higher self and get messages now, and just be more mindful. Also, there's a lot of energies, negative energies that have come through, and they are very prevalent. I'm seeing these in a lot of people. So the attachments are out there just wild and heavy. There's like a long list. Most of my clients, I'm reading like a long list of stuff to clear. I don't know if that's been your experience too, but it just seems that with this time that we're experiencing and the fear that's coming through the broadcast television, they broadcast it in the frequency of fear. So as we know, that's a very low vibration, and these things resonate on that same level of vibration. And when people, they don't even have to really be listening to the news so much as just having it on in, say if they have a TV on in the living room and all this stuff is spewing out, fear, 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 fear. Look at this, everything's going to, you know, your economy is going to heck, your whatever, people are out of work. But they only are broadcasting just like the horrible things, and we don't really get the full story, obviously. You know, we're not being told what's really going on. So we're just given some panic stuff to deal with, right? And many people who are not experienced as we are, and have maybe more of an expanded way of looking at things, they're just panicking, or not knowing what to do. I went to Home Depot yesterday to find our new water heater, and there was speaking in loud volumes. A man was agitated that he had to stand 6 feet away from a employee. Now the employees are real, you know, speaking up about, hey, you got to stand 6 feet back. Well, maybe just the tone that somebody took rubbed this guy the wrong way, and he got loud, saying, you know, you don't have to talk to me like that, and whatever. So there's things are just, you know, friction going on here with what we feel our civil liberties have been taken away from us, and we're some of us aren't doing as well as others. So personally, myself, this has not been much of a change at all. I work from home, and as well as probably others that do this work. And I understand that Lainey is working from home with her job too. So a lot of different changes going on. But for me, nothing's really changed, except for if I want to do something now, I got to go out and do it before 6 p.m. So I got to schedule things in a little bit differently in my schedule, which I'm not used to. But other than that, I am not letting anything get under my, you know, ruffle my feathers. You know, it's sad. Some things are sad to see that some people are experiencing, and to think that there's those out there who, you know, only bought toilet paper like every week, you know, and expected it to always be there. And, you know, so I just feel sad that somebody took advantage of the situation and bought up. It was the first thing that happened, is that people went out and just bought up all the paper products. And I don't know if this was set up intentional. I've heard that it was teams that went out into all different cities and just took them all off the shelves. Maybe this was, you know, to also scare people or whatever. But just know that this is temporary. This is just a real temporary thing, as far as the panic and the fear. People are just trying to find their way right now with a new a new way of doing things that we have never experienced, like I said before. So really, that, you know, people are terrified, and there's really no time to waste, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We need to be taking some time daily, meditating over healing the planet, the people on it, you know, and what we can do to help people. So, you know, we can see, just as I was saying before, how we can work with people by putting like a green light, a green circle around a group of people that we are going to be working with. And this is what I do, you know, when I do a webinar and deliver to a whole group. You can connect this group with this green light. And so it's possible, why wouldn't it be, that we could connect the people of the planet with this green light and do a healing for everybody that's suffering right now, right? So we can maybe see it as like a rainbow, since there's people of all different colors, right? So maybe instead of just green, we can maybe have like a green and a rainbow light, and then just see that maybe as a power force, and you know, connecting all people in the world, and then just sending out daily through a meditation, just sending out healing, you know, kind of a de-stressor, if you will, if you want to kind of think of it that way, and just allowing people to raise out of that low vibration that many people are in, and because we can affect the way attachments are coming on these people as well. I mean, they just can't be just, you know, the clients that I have, right, or you. There's people all over the world who are being attacked by these dark energies as well. So so we do have a mission. We have a mission as light workers, if you will, or whatever you want to call yourself, energy healers. You know, before things get way out of hand, I think there's a lot of people, a lot of groups who have decided to put out mass emailings telling people, hey, meditate on certain days at certain times. We want 1 million or so all at the same time meditating, and this is wonderful. I think this is really going to start helping the planet when everybody starts coming together and putting their intention out there for the betterment and the healing of the people and the planet. Not that the planet really needs our help as far as that. She's taking off and doing what she needs to do. She's more than willing to allow people who follow her on Twitter to come along for the ride. And but you better hold on and keep up, right? So this is the part that a lot of people, they don't know. We don't get taught this. They don't know what to do except getting these headaches. A lot of people are experiencing dizziness right now, and then of course that panic thing, you know, the anxiety or the panic. So so the adrenal glands is what we're going to be working on in our session on Sunday. So day 3 will be adrenals. So this is going to be huge. People for, you know, and most people have a compromised adrenals. There's just no doubt about that. So what you're going to be learning in day 3 is going to be very, very crucial for a lot of people. Absolutely. So, you know, this is, I believe, a opportunity for connection as well. It's an opportunity to connect on a deeper level, a deeper scale than we've ever done before. A lot of people don't have the time. They're always busy with their lives, running off to work, coming home, doing the errands, chores, blah, 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 get done, go to bed, right? So nobody's really, or not nobody, but people haven't had or taken the time to think about anything, you know, from a different perspective. So so this connection now is big. So what does that mean to what we do? How can that be an opportunity for us? So looking at what we have done in the past and what we can do now and into the future, all at the same time, of course, because our next topic is timelines. So, so what does that look like for our healing business? And we're going to be talking about business a little bit more towards the end of the 3 or 4, day 3 and 4, I believe. So let's just kind of let this marinate in our mind about what it means right now for this modality and taking it out into the world and all the different opportunities it can mean. So for Margot, she said that she works with trauma. So this would be obviously appropriate for people who feel that their life is out of alignment right now, and they're working with some you know, different energies than they've had in the past. So that opens up an opportunity for Margot to do work with these people for trauma, right? But we're looking at what people feeling a sense of not being in control. So chaos, you know, whatever that brings to their life. So out of control. So these may be keywords then too, if you will, if you think about business sense and online. So going through the next 4 days, that might be a list that you can make for yourself too, as keywords like out of control, or you know, chaos, or anxiety, or panic. Of course, we don't want to you know, cause panic by telling people, you know, how out of control they are, but those are the words that are resonating, that they understand right now. They feel this. So if we can assure them that there is something to help their situation, this is one of the ways that we can be found online, for example. And we're going to be doing some more work about how to get out there online. But yeah, keep notes. Anything that comes up throughout the next few days in regards to the opportunities, really, is what we're looking at right now. So fearful, frightened, you know, all those. And then, of course, too, if people are looking at social media, it's just overwhelming. There's another word, overwhelming. Overwhelm. And it's, you know, because it's being shown mostly as a negative thing. And our social media has bias. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of things that a lot of people, like, for example, my husband, he's not on Facebook. He used to be, but now they don't share his stuff anymore. So like, what's the point? There's just no one, you can look at it, but you can't do anything because they're not sharing his posts. So, you know, that's what trust in the world. There's no trust there, right, anymore. So that's another one. People have, don't know where to put their trust. So what is it right now that can make people happy, or, you know, fulfilled, feeling their life is richer at this moment? That might be a long stretch, you know, it might be. And then, of course, we've been bombarded with chemicals, you know, spraying heavy metals from airplanes pretty much everywhere. I've traveled different places and I've seen them pretty much everywhere. So that is you know, with these metals coming through, aluminum in particular, that it's used, I believe, to move weather. My husband follows a couple of YouTube channels that show weather patterns and where things are moving, and you can see kind of like movement, energy waves in areas that are pushing the atmosphere into, I guess, so that it will rain in one part, but won't rain for months or whatever in another area if they keep pushing it in another direction. So that's another thing then too, is the heavy metals that I had a class or a live stream for, releasing and eliminating heavy metal toxins and chemicals. So again, that can be something else as an opportunity, chemicals, heavy metals, and looking at helping people with. Of course, they might not know that they have heavy metals, so you're going to come at it with the sense of the symptoms that they cause. Right, so who's here got headaches, or that kind of thing. So, and there's a whole long list of symptoms, so it can be many other different keywords people are looking for relief from, right? So so we want to set up our practice, or at least our office or our area that we're going to be working in as most comfortable way as possible. So if you haven't already, this might be a great time to remodel your area and have this in a new feeling, a new sense, if you will, of moving into the next phase. So a lot of things have ended, like people's jobs, for example. But what does that mean in that now people are looking at, well, what do I like to do? I see a lot of people outside doing yard work, planting things. Now, of course, it's spring, so it's a beautiful time to be planting new life and seeing, I have a tomato plant right now behind me because I've got the window here. We just got some organic potting soil, and my husband's got a lot of different things going out there, but we're going to get that going again. So so this is a period of new life, of new springing forth. It is spring, so it's a perfect time to be thinking about the next thing, the next iteration of ourselves and our business. So community connection, even though we are connecting virtually, this is going to be a key word, community and connection. So you might want to put these words down, and I'm just kind of jotting a few things down, and they may just come in handy later when you're going through your notes. Things as they pop up, just put them, just jot it down, just keep a journal log of things in your head, just get them out of your head and onto the paper. You'll thank yourself for it. I've gone through old notes of mine and just found little tidbits here and there. I'm like, whoa, I forgot all about that. Wow, I think I'll try that again, so these will come in handy as you go along in your business. So and people are looking for the meaning, behind it. It's got to be something deeper. It just cannot be a surface thing anymore. And especially with the younger class coming through, the millennials especially, you're not impressing them at all. We are. This is not impressing them. They are seeing, they're actually seeing physical and mental declines faster than any other group so far. All right, so this has to be vaccines. We never got this many vaccines. It's just crazy. How can a child just being born need, hepatitis? They haven't been doing drugs, right? Or out dating yet, so it's just crazy, the amount of vaccines that they've gotten, and then the exposure to the chemicals and heavy metals, more so than I know I got when I was a younger child. Although they sprayed for mosquitoes and this huge poof of smoke filled everybody's neighborhoods, and DDT and all that, I think it's all still in ourselves. And some of this stuff actually does get passed down from mother to child. Mercury, for example, is can be the same mercury that your grandparents had. Now that, you know, is in our cells. So so it's just gotten bombarded with so much stuff coming through. So burnout can be, well, that can be another word here too, because people just aren't feeling that vibrant thing. They're just more into that survival thing right now. And a lot of people have been lazy. They're eating food a lot. And thinking that there's nothing else to do. So watching a lot of television, which just is not helping the situation, right? So the survival mode, a lot of people are in. So doing the diet thing is great. Lainey is wonderful with knowing how to treat her body well with diet. And then exercise, and they closed my gym and I missed my yoga class. And yeah, I know they have an app and so forth. But like, where am I going to spread out, you know, without hitting things? And even in my living room, it's not, you know, yeah, it's just not set up. So that's another thing. It's just, yeah, now I got to rearrange the furniture, move the furniture in the living room so that I can do yoga. Okay, so that's on my list. All right. So things I've got to do different. But what are we doing to nurture ourselves right now? And is this something that we can put into a package, right? So is there some, you know, lifestyle package that we could put together that will help people? So maybe pick and choose some of the things that you hear in the next few days and just take out the juicy bits that, oh my gosh, that would be really cool. I'm going to put that in a package. And I do have one that is for vitality and vibrancy. You know, and we're going to do that when we get to DNA here today. That you could do like, hey, that's pretty cool. So these would be the elements. This is what I would have to do. That's a great package. And then call it something that you can come up with that is relevant, right? So that could be the emotional support, just like Dia, you know, the emotional intuitive. I love that. So something along the lines of, you know, emotional support. I think that's, I think a lot of people are looking for just that, right? So, you know, we're searching for healing, right? People are searching for healing right now because of their circumstances and because they want to, and they want to reach out and they want to connect with people, right? So this is an opportunity, unprecedented, that we haven't had as healers for probably a long time, right? If maybe ever, maybe back in Lemuria, yes, absolutely, we had that there. And that's still in me. So maybe, I guess that's where my utopian, you know, everything is always fine. Well, it is. Everything's always fine in my world. It just is, right? And because of that, things do come to me, and I just keep that that momentum going by just knowing everything's fine in my world. So the connection on a spiritual level, so that we can all heal, become whole again. That's what we're looking for here. So what are you doing different in your healing practice now? And what can we do differently? So let's keep that in mind then as we travel through the next few days and take notes. If there's anybody right now that's something's popped up and you want to unmute yourself and tell me what your thoughts are, it'd be great right now to do that.
Hi, it's Dia.
Hi, Dia.
So this is a little, it's not really a new perspective, but what I've seen my clients need is not like an hour session, but like 2 half-hour sessions in the week. As things are kind of fluid and moving, that has been, you know, coming from a kind of more traditional therapist point of view, you know, it's an hour session. I mean, I do an hour. Usually people do 45 minutes. But I have always used a full 60 minutes. But now I really think people are benefiting from, especially during this crisis, from 2 half-hour sessions, and that's been really helped people more than I've done before. So that's just something new that I've done. I'll unmute.
Okay.
I'll mute myself. Mhm.
I like that, Dia. Yeah, so instead of an hour session, now they're able to check in with you 2 times a week
Mhm.
instead of 1. So the beginning of the week, maybe the end of the week before they, you know, the weekend, maybe they're alone. And what about people who are alone, right? Singles. They're not supposed to go anywhere or be with anybody or meet new people. So they're sitting at home alone, and maybe
That's
just
very hard.
reaching out and talking with them twice a week now is just exactly what they need. I have a client, she's an elder, well, she's in her 70s. I don't know if you want to call that elder. Somewhere in her 70s, and she's alone, and all she has is the TV, you know, so, and of course I clear a long list of stuff with her every week. So that might be something I know she likes to have that company. So it's almost like we're the bartender, yeah, or the hairdresser, where they come, they talk, they have a ear to listen to them, as well as doing some work. So it could be even reducing our hour sessions to shorter little sessions, and maybe it doesn't even have to be, you know, that you slash the price in half. Maybe it's a different price. You know, you can package it differently somehow. So yeah, I like that. 2 shorter sessions versus a longer hour session. And the shorter sessions are easier on the healer as well too. So
Mm.
at all at one.
And I haven't changed my rates. So I have a sliding scale fee. So everyone,
Yeah.
everyone pays a different, everyone pays a different fee, depending on if they have, you know, I'm lucky enough that I can have insurance, you know, reimburse them. So people don't have to financially have hardship to see me, but my rates haven't changed. I just split it. So they just pay online the beginning of the week. And so I haven't changed I'm just saying I personally didn't change my rates. I just, you know, split in half.
Okay. All right. I like that. Very good. Is anybody else thoughts? Margot?
I just keep getting an overwhelming, yeah, something about the fear and emotional support through that is coming through for me, that just being that light worker that helps people abstain from terrorizing their awareness with this fear. It's where I'm feeling that's my call, and trying to think of how, you know, how to package that. But just the emotional support is, it's the terror, and I guess those are the trauma triggers for people. But it's beyond fear, I find, for so many people. Is people, not only is the fear, they're being bombarded by the fear, but they're terrorizing themselves on top of it. You know, their awareness is, and so tools, just tools. And for me, it's about emotional and spiritual practices, like spiritual support, like helping people see that this spiritual support is available to them. Yeah, helping them see a different way and giving them actual tangible tools to, yeah. And also identify, a thing that really helped me with our course last time, Marlene, is helping people identify where to put their awareness. Like there's a whole nother field in spirituality, right? And we have to put it into layman's terms. And I think sometimes we're so comfortable with it. But what I'm finding is people need to go back to the basics of, like, what is my higher self? What's my Holy Spirit? What's my oversoul? What's my, like, what is functioning within the spiritual world? And what am I even putting my awareness on to help me move out of fear at this time? Like, I don't think so many people, like, they just hear something like meditation, they don't even know where to begin. And I think we as healers take it for granted because, you know, as we've all heard, we've all been doing this for decades. And I think we so take for granted it's such a long process, and it needs to be broken down for so many people into very real layman's terms.
Yeah.
what's percolating in my mind as we talk, is we're our languaging, is some people would hear us talking, and I'm thinking they wouldn't even know what we're talking about. So that's what I find difficult, and that's sort of what and where I really want help is, yeah, I'm really struggling because I feel like I'm functioning at this high frequency, this high vibration. I'm so diligent in my own spiritual practice to keep my vibration there. But I find like if I put it out onto even my Instagram, like all my other posts when I'm in more of a human form and, you know, just day-to-day stuff, people respond, but as soon as I do the quantum, it's like they don't even see it. So that's where, and I'm kicking into my own fears, or not fears, but just curiosity as to how am I going to find these people? Because I don't know, in my day-to-day world, people are so disconnected from this. And I personally, I think I have a really hard time disengaging from the spiritual realm into that basic, because I feel such a contrast. So kind of integrating those two, I'm like, that's a real piece for me. It's like when you're talking about reaching out to people, how do we, how do we help them see this when they don't even know it's missing?
Right. Yeah.
So those are the thoughts that are coming through for me right now. But it's all around. Yeah.
Good question. Yeah, and there's the piece that I have. Okay, so I get clients like from the show. For example, the last show I was on with Iram from Heartache to Joy, and people come in through there, and it's amazing their frequency. I would say on average, I'm not even going to say 300. Okay, so in the 250 to 300.
Yeah, I'm finding 250 to 250 to 325 maybe.
Yeah, and that's average. So, but if they are looking at Iram's show, they are, you would think, okay, how am I going to reach these people? They're so low vibe, they don't get it. But they are getting it at a certain level. They don't understand anything about it. However, something is drawing them to listen to that show, and then to ultimately say, okay, I'll sign up for that package. And now they're on my session, right, as a client. So, and I'm talking to them, and a lot of them have no idea what I'm saying. But I don't know from one person to the next, you know, who knows what, right? So I tell pretty much the same thing to each one as I'm going through their chart and looking at the things. And then I feel that that's, you know, just the conversation, just telling them what you're doing. You're looking at their energy here now, and then how that relates to what they just said. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on with you? What's, you know, how's your life? And whatever they happen to tell me, I actually use that and bring that into what I'm showing them on their chart. And then it pulls it more into perspective for them, like, oh, that's why. Okay, so yeah, my adrenals, I can see why you say that they're 35% if the symptoms are, you know, the feeling tired, the sleep, and, you know, cortisol, adrenaline, all that stuff. So that it brings it into a visual for them to say, oh, wow, so what I've been doing over here is affecting my body over here, even though my body hasn't been telling me anything. I have no clue that my adrenals are at 35%. I had no clue. And so for a lot of people, it's like, oh my God, it's like a reality check. And some people are very saddened to see the numbers and what they happen to be. But then when they take a couple of minutes and see, well, that explains a lot of stuff. And I get it, you know, so yeah, so now let's fix it. What do we got to do to fix that, you know? And we don't have to talk quantum this and that. We just happen to say, well, this package here has brought, you know, let's just say Jody, for example, because we worked on her thyroid. I remember, and she sent me the before and the after pictures of her within like a 6-month period. the after picture showed hair, big hair, you know, and whereas before it was like really thin and so forth, and her face had color and brightness to it on the after, you know. So just showing, you know, what other people do, I think is more of gonna help, instead of explaining how it all works and so forth, because they don't really, that will just go straight over their head. And like, for example, my cousin,
I think, Marlene, I think that's the piece for me though, is how do, I guess just with experience, then you get testimonials over time, but is how you get credibility if you're not explaining to people how it works. Like, I guess you have to bring a level of faith into it as well, like our own spiritual practice. As long as we know it's having an impact, that will transfer spiritually. But yeah, I think it's the credibility piece, just to tell somebody, well, it's just going to work. I don't know, but I mean, I guess there's an element where I trusted that. I was at a place where I needed to just believe it's going to work. So that's when I stepped up. And
yeah. And so it would be more like giving them a little sampler platter, if you will, where the things that they will be able to feel pretty immediately would be the energy centers. So you're doing if you're releasing, like, oh my gosh, they have, you know, they have some demons and so forth. Well, if you release that for them and just say, okay, well, let's do a little work here. We're just going to move a little bit of your energy so that it's you're feeling more comfortable, and then just, you know, let go of these attachments for them, and then just you know, chat with them a couple more minutes, and then you'll see that their face changes, they're lighting up, they start talking a little more by the end. Just talk normal stuff then for a few minutes, right? While you're doing this, you don't have to go into, oh, I'm doing that, you know, nothing. Just kind of talk with them a little and draw out more information a little bit, have them talk about themselves. At the end of the conversation, they're going to feel good. They're not really going to realize exactly what happened, but they're going to be like, yeah, okay, yeah, that felt right, you know. In their own mind, they know, their body knows, their body is telling them.
I think that's a piece for me, is putting the cart before the horse, you know, like not waiting till it's all figured out, or just diving in and doing, so that they start to gain that momentum and feel better. And not put the cart before the horse, like have them have to figure it all out before or understand why. I think that's definitely a block for me.
Yeah, yes, and that can be our own blocks.
Yeah.
And though too, things are changing. So let's take a look at.
People are more willing to dive in because they're struggling more.
Yeah, and a lot of people are not getting the help with the mainstream solutions that we have been given for the last few decades. They see a lot of illness. Their relatives, their parents go into these facilities and come out, you know, they're not being helped. They may even be killing them, as I've seen my parents go through. It just, once you have a parent and they're going through hospitals, doctors, nursing care facilities, all of that, you come out the other end with a totally different perspective of, you know, I mean, unless you had just lucky enough to have all the stars line up for, they got everything perfect that they needed. I didn't see that from either of my parents. I found that a lot of things added up that didn't add up. So just people could get bitter about that if they, you know, if they were to dwell on, hey, that killed my mother, you know. Yeah, because she was fine, 5 weeks later, dead. Okay, so I don't know what the connection is here, but these things happened, okay? So
I think, yeah, those are some of the things we can help people identify through our marketing, like, you know, where traditional medicine or talk therapy maybe hasn't served you or you haven't got the results. So
yeah.
So again, it's the importance of identifying the client is where conventional therapies have failed you or systems have failed you, and you're seeking new alternatives.
Yes. So what has helped you before? So there can be a little questionnaire too, just basic things, you know, what have you done before? You know, what have you tried? And how's that working? All right.
For you.
How's that working for you? Yeah. So if you're willing to pay, you know, caboodles of dollars to do that and it's not helping, are you interested in looking at something that is working for many other people? Probably just haven't heard of it before, and that's all it is. You know, are you just open to hearing something new? So that's true. And then who really is our client? So that's the other piece. So if you want to divide the population into 3 different sections, let's just say section 1, if you will, would be the ones that we would be in. So the people in this section, they're totally aware, they're conscious, they don't need to be told anything about what, you know, energy or alternative, they pretty much get it. So those would be your clients, obviously, and they could be other healers, they could be people in other modalities such as massage therapists, body workers, craniosacral, for sure. And these people have all spent money to get licensed in these things. So they understand how it works, that you train yourself, you get skilled, and then you get clients. I mean, they get this whole thing. So they get it. And then working with people, the public, and delivering a session and so forth. So they would be ideal clients of ours. The next group would be here in the middle. And so this is also our customers here too. I would say the top 2/3 are our customers. So the middle section would be people who they know about Reiki. If you can say Reiki on steroids, that's what I do. Oh, okay. So you piece it with something they already know and that relates to them, and then you just add on your own twist to it. So that can bring them along into, oh, okay, oh, that's cool. Didn't know that you could do that. All right. So then just give them a little bit of a, you know, just like a kind of sampler or platter, I guess, again, if you will. So that would be, those would be our clients then too in the middle. But the bottom third, and I don't want to call bottom third, but I guess what other term to use, they may or may not be our customers right now. You know, I mean, there's so many people to serve right now who, you know, just pick one, right? But the bottom third may or may not be the people that are going to be willing to even receive our help. And that's because, like Margot said, just that glazed look in their eye, they're not following us. We lost them. They're not on the same resonance. And they could be people who are in the hundreds, the frequency of 100 and even 200, I'm seeing for sure. So are they spiritually ready for what's happening right now? That's a question. I'm not sure. And a lot of them, they may be clinging on to old ideas, and I don't want to call religion an old idea, but some people are just clinging to
the duality
systems. Yes, absolutely. And even though they're seeing some things shake out as not very desirable, like your priests are being, you know, for pedophilia or whatever, even though they see that, it doesn't register to them that that's even a thing that's real. That can't be right because my beliefs say this, right? So it's a big block for them. Their beliefs are preventing them from moving anywhere with their life at the moment. So it almost has to be something strong enough for them. And there are these breakthroughs, things that happen, and they're happening more right now to wake people up. So as it's happening, and they can be accidents, they can be this type of situation where they're sitting at home now, and you know, they're having to get along with their families, and the dynamics are different. So these can be great opportunities for wake-up calls for people. And so coming out of this situation, they may be more willing now to listen or to hear something a little different, because there's going to be things coming out on TV. I don't know about some stations, but that are going to be very shocking to people. There's kids right now being pulled out of tunnels that have never seen the light of day. And they're pulling them out by like 50 a day right now. It's not getting news coverage, but it will, because of the sheer numbers of them that are being brought to light right now. So as things move and change with the coming days, there's going to be real shifts going in people's minds, where they didn't believe, they just didn't think this anything, and now cracking open the shell here, like, whoa, wake up calls for a lot of people right now, wake up calls. So
I keep hearing the words being called to pivot.
Yes.
2 days it keeps coming through, the call to pivot, the call to pivot. It's like, yeah, people are really being called to pivot, like just almost 180. And for some people it's a big pivot.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So that like bottom third, like we were saying, even though they may not get us this very minute, maybe, as the days go on here, they are opening up. They are coming to. You could talk to them about their symptoms, ascension symptoms, if you will, right? Oh, you know, a lot of people right now are saying that they've got some headaches, or they're feeling a little dizzy, maybe a little anxious feeling here and there. Does that describe you at all? Oh, yes. Okay, well, that's exactly what's happening. The energies are moving a little differently right now, and your body's responding to them.
Could we compile or get a list of the ascension symptoms? That would be helpful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, because that could be a package that you offer, a
Yeah, that would be
package,
great.
or call it whatever you will, and maybe a different name to different places, whoever you're promoting it to.
You put it in layman's terms, kind of like, oh, we're being called to pivot, and are you experiencing blah, 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 or something, or called to shift gears, or.
Mm-hmm.
So a list of those symptoms, that would be super helpful.
Yep. Yeah, so the symptoms, I have that too, so I'll send that to you. Symptoms list. Yeah, and then you can take that list, and then okay, so the adrenals would fit in here, you know, and then just plug in the different parts that you could do for that package, you know.
Do you normally, is the reason you did this training in level 1 and then level 2 being more like, the level 1 is definitely more entities and amplifications, more maybe the emotional piece is, and then as we're moving more into physical, is that typically the order in which you not deal with people, that you work with people, you know, in like say, taking care of those underlying things, because the physicality is the end result. And that's sort of the last layer. And is that why you do it in this?
It is. Yes, exactly. Because the physical is the dense layer, and it's what happens. This is a result of what I've been thinking about, what I've been believing in is truth for me over many years. So this is the result. Now, if I had been more worried, I'd probably have more wrinkles or whatever, right? So yeah, the end result is the physical. It is the most dense, you know, and the more that we lighten our load out of our cells, right, get the darkness out of the cells and so forth, then the higher that our frequency is able to go, and the lighter we become, and that's the light body they talk about. And then less dense, less physical, right? But until we get there, we still have the physical body, and that's what everybody relates to. So most people can relate to having physical symptoms. So this is why this part of it is very, you know, relevant to most people, because they've got something to complain about, you know, physically, right? Aches or pains or something going on, right? So you can take that ache and pain and then trace it backwards and see, well, okay, so what caused this? Why are we looking at this now? There's a reason, right? So then you can plug in the different pieces, and yes, there's, you know, emotional issues, or the way that they're perceiving things, or they're just going along with the brute mind here. You know, so
Timelines, bloodlines, attachment, yeah, all of it.
yeah, the whole thing. Yep. So all of the different energetic pieces fit into, because if you weren't thinking these thoughts in the first place, then you wouldn't have the heart chakra out of balance right now. Then you maybe wouldn't be experiencing the lung issues or whatever, right? So, you know, family of origin is big, right? Issues with the family and the mother, and not being supported, not good enough, not whatever. A lot of people have those problems, and that's what's amping up this respiratory issue with people too right now, is that underlying piece with the love and not getting the attention or the support, or not feeling the good enough kind of thing. So you take that over the course of many years, and then that's what's skewing the chakras or the energy centers of these people, and then eventually they're coming out with physical manifestations of that. So you take that, yeah. Now you can work it backwards.
Yeah, sort of both at the same time, going back.
Yeah.
Question with respect, when I was speaking earlier, do you guys mind me asking so many questions? Is it okay right now?
Sure, go ahead.
When I was speaking earlier about, I'm just such a conceptual person, and I like to have this sort of mapping in terms of where I'm putting my awareness. And when you spoke of the light body, I didn't get a clear sense of where I would be putting my awareness with respect to the light body. Like, is the light body something we already have, or is it something we're trying to create, or is the light body that which we're clearing to make the light body more light? Like, I picture the light body around my body as almost like my aura layers, and that would be my light body, and comprised of all the different layers. But speak to the term light body a bit more, and what exactly that is.
Well, we all have it, and it's vibrating. Okay, so it's not vibrating that high, you know, in certain terms, because we're physical. I mean, so it can't be vibrating all that high if we've got these physical bodies, because some aliens or some other planets, they have a much higher frequency, so they are vibrating at a different rate, a higher rate, if you will. So we all have the light body. It's just what is it vibrating at right now? So yeah, it's your particles that are
everything. Like, it's your higher self, your essence, your aura, like, it's kind of the resonance of all of it that's non-physical.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. That's how I see it, but I just like to have a conceptual sort of idea for myself.
Yeah, so this planet is one that is more dense. That's why we can see people, right? But like, for example, the Lemurians, and there are Lemurians here, like under Mount Shasta. They have built the temples and the different, you know, beautiful crystal areas and so forth under Mount Shasta. Well, they don't see, they're not physical. You don't really see them, right? So they can come down a little bit, you know, so, but they don't want to come down into this density, right? It would be just too painful.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, even you're speaking of coming down. I also picture the light body like it's that connection through the 8th chakra that is happening eternally back to the native nothingness. Like it's that,
It's the buzz. It's the spark.
yeah, and it's above the density.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So 5th dimension, 6th dimension, 7th dimension, 8th, 9th, 10th,
Yeah.
whatever they are on right now. Yeah. So we just happen to be one of the lower density planets where we're still in physical bodies that people are like, wow, they got a ways to go. Let's help these guys. So, yep.
So 5, 6, 7, 8 dimension. Thank you.
Exactly. Yep. Jan, did you have a comment?
I wanted to ask a question. You mentioned about these children that they're bringing up out of these tunnels. What children? Where is this happening?
Well, there's a lot of them in New York is where I've seen pictures. They have, the hospitals there are prepared. They are, they're not even wearing masks, like the nurses and so forth. None of them are treating, it doesn't look like they're treating infectious disease patients. The patients that are coming up, they have nutrition, you know, IV bags for nutrition going into them, and that's all you see. That's it. And there's incubators, you know, like, you know, this is not for delivering children. What's going on here? But yeah, they're coming up. They're bringing them up.
So it's people who are living in the tunnels below the cities.
Yes.
Well, New York, you said.
Child trafficking. Yeah. So like for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in New York, there's piers, right? So they come in through these piers, they bring them in
Yeah.
through other countries, and then there's underground tunnels from the pier going into like these Bronfmans, the Smirnoff Empire. You know, they have something there, and the tunnels go like underneath this their building.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're finding connections anyway of what's.
Okay, I understand now what you're saying. Yeah.
Who's involved, but it's child trafficking, and they've been bringing them in, like when they had the Haiti, you know, the earthquakes and that devastation in Haiti. They were shipping, shipfuls of children from there. Just disgusting. Yeah, and I don't want to really get into, you know, people's beliefs about, you know, Planned Parenthood, but apparently that they get children that way too. So just.
Well, I didn't hear what you said.
Planned Parenthood, you know, those
I see.
yeah, I don't know if they must be pretty late term or something to get children that way, but I guess that's what they're doing. So.
You mean for adoption?
No, they abort them. I guess they must be late term abortions that actually they don't kill them though. They just bring them out, resuscitate them, and then they go into the system, I guess. So yeah. So
my throat chakra is like tightening.
yeah, I know it's hard to talk about, isn't it? But so these things are happening and people are going to be freaking out. I mean, it's just going to be crazy. So I guess with that in mind, and mine is too now that you're talking about it, Mark.
Oh God, I feel like I'm gonna. It's bad.
Yeah. So anyway, this is I'm going to be bringing out things about the people that have been in charge or that we've been trusting. So trust is going to be a big thing. Who do you trust? What's going on? You know, get the trust back. I think that's a good, very big keyword, trust. Yeah. But and Lainey, did you have a comment?
Yeah, the thing that I've been focusing on a lot lately is just making sure that I and anyone I work on are very grounded. So it's that, you know, are you really plugged into Mother Earth, or are you just, is it a shallow or is it really deep? And then also connection upward to source so that you've got that tether. And that, I don't know, I guess my belief system is if you're tethered top and bottom, you're not going to be whacked around as much with all this stuff going on in the world. But that might be something to check for those of you who have patients, is are they actually really grounded, or are they really connected, or has the fear kind of pulled their tethers, torn their tethers basically?
Yeah.
And I agree, and also teaching them how to do that for themselves. Like so many people, like, we can do it for them, but they don't have. Some people don't even know again what we're talking about. So teaching them how to do it is a nice thing to do, I think.
Yeah. I'm working on doing some meditations or some recordings that can help people do this too. So this is something you guys can do as well. So doing some real intentional meditations. So yes, very good, Lainey. And that's something that I've been doing with my clients too, because I noticed that a lot of them are out of their body, right? So their spirits will be, hanging out up here a lot. So that's an open invitation then for all these other attachments to come in and live in the body, because they don't feel what's going on in there anyway. So so first off, I check their life force, clear out attachments. And then from there, then I take the earth energy for them and I bring it up. I bring it up all the way through, and then I let the energy come over their aura and just kind of clean the aura that way. And then tethering to source and bringing that light energy in all the way through the body and just having it filling out everywhere and just enlivening, and I can just see all their cells coming alive, and then going all the way down into their feet, all their toes just come alive, and then bringing more earth energy up, and then just another nice cleanse, and then I see their spirit coming back in, and then I don't even tell them really I'm doing this, but we could be, and walking them through it, and so that they could do this themselves. And then after that, then they feel different. They're like, oh, yeah.
Well, and also empowering. It's kind of like the therapist who has the client forever because they keep doing it for the client. But I think if we're teaching them to empower them to do it for themselves, it's sustainable.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So
and
that
having a bigger impact.
I just wanted to share. I teach classes because I'm all about empowering, and I'm nothing special. I just have been training a lot, and I have these skills, and let me give them to you. And I was really surprised. Now maybe it's different this year, but in the past years, people are like, I just really want you to do it, Dia. And like I made this, like I had.
I think some people, there's both sides. Like some people are just so exhausted. They just want to show up and have it done. I hear you.
So it's kind of funny. I was a little surprised that happened because I thought I got all these skills and I'm going to teach you all this training I've been doing for 20 years and you're going to be able to do this for yourself and your family. And they're like, no, not so much. So
I agree. I hear you. Well, there's a part of me who loves to just show up and have somebody do it for me.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
We're all so tired, I think.
And maybe try finding a new way. I was thinking of how to balance. This is something you can do for yourself. That's really like the tethering piece and the grounding piece, and start. How you say start small in what we teach and empower, so it doesn't overwhelm. So like this combination of let me teach it, let me have you experience it, and then this is what I do now, but let me have you experience it, and please let me teach you how to do it when you don't see me, and that's empowering. So I'd love to hear what other people are doing, because I'd love to get new ideas of how to balance that and give
speaking
that.
to is just the importance too of assessing, like not making any assumptions, is that different people are coming with different needs. Some people might want to learn and other people just want it done.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea to just do those kinds of assessments.
Yeah. And I was just thinking too that you could even do like a little video for people, maybe show them your little routine and how it's done. And then maybe they could copy that or model what you're doing if they had a little visual. So you could do like, okay, so this package is going to come with a morning routine video and an evening routine video. So you just plop it in, 5 minutes, do this routine, and pew, feel the difference. After a week or whatever, you're going to really know these changes or whatever. Most people experience these things. So if they had something to look at to see what it is that they could easily pick up. So that could be part of the package, having some little video too for a morning routine. I think that would be really cool. I'm going to add that in anyway. That's one of the things I've been starting to work on for people. So anyone else?
Yes. One of the categories that we had included was ability to live in the body. And I got thinking about that and wondered whether or not that was really about grounding. If somebody isn't grounded, then they're choosing to not live in their body, not consciously, in all cases, of course. But so I think and that's what I've discovered in the last week and a half to 2 weeks for myself when all of this blew up, was the influence and the feelings that were coming up and the just getting caught up in other people's. And finally I thought, it's because I'm not grounded. So I've started a grounding exercise that I do each day, and I'm finding that's really making a huge difference. So I'm totally not influenced by the fear, or if I have a fear thought, I'm very easily able to shift away from it.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah. Yeah. So it could be like a little routine, or a daily exercise for grounding ourselves to get out of the head, right? So it's that thinky thoughts like, and it's a lot of the ego that is coming through, a lot of things that aren't of the body, right? And the sensations. So you can't stay in fear thoughts if you're feeling a beautiful feeling in your body, right? So yeah, absolutely. Love that. Is there anybody else that has a comment or something that came up? How are you doing things differently? How thoughts that you could do things a little differently? And let's kind of tie this into what we chose here. What was your goal for yourself when you incarnated into this body? Have we talked to our higher self? Do we know what what our goal is here to be here, right? And how does that tie into with what you're actually doing and things that you could be doing? If you've had your wake up call or whatever, do you know what your goal was? And maybe that's going into the Akashic, and that can be something that I'm going to put that down on a follow-up Akashic. We can do that on a follow-up Zoom meeting. But yeah, so what are we here for? What was the goal that you'd set for yourself? All of the different insights, wisdom, everything that you've gained on Earth, and now how can you use that and tie that in? Because obviously, if that's the gift that you were given, if was your assignment, if you will, then you have all the different help available to you to carry that out already. It's already been given to us. We have different guides and so forth. My husband just found out recently that he has a dog that is a guide or something for him. And it's an angel type, it's an angel, but came through as a dog. And he's had this dog when he grew up, was his only friend because he was way out in the valley somewhere that, city of LA's water source was not in LA, it was way out, right? So that's where his dad did. So he had no friends, right? But he had this dog, and this dog has, I guess, been coming through in different times, in different ways. And then the dog came in as another dog that he had, we had up until a couple of years ago. And she came in that way. And the dog was his. I mean, there was no questioning that dog. It was, yeah, she liked me, but it wasn't like, that wasn't not my dog, you know, you can tell. So he has that dog now, leads him, gives him answers. If he's looking for something, that dog will lead him basically, and he'll be standing in front of that thing, like with his hand on it going, oh, here it is. You know? So we have guides right now assisting us to do the thing that we were supposed to be doing here, right? So this particular assignment for this incarnation, we have divine assistance to do this. So that's another thing, is to getting in touch then with what it is, you know, if you want to call it purpose, what's our purpose? Getting in touch with that purpose, and then marrying that with a thing that you could be doing through this work. So now to him, it can be, you know, animals or animal totems and that kind of stuff, because he's got that Indian type, you know, thing going on in Eskimo, I believe, too, or whatever, something like that. So, I mean, that could be for him, that's more in line, right? But for others, it could be something different, and, you know, like Margot with the horses or whatever. But so it's, you know, let's grab the opportunity now and marry our assignment with what we're doing here. So really taking time to get in touch with that, and integrating who we're being right now with what we agreed to do. And it doesn't mean you have to do exactly what you agreed to do. There can be modifications and changes and to that. And some people don't even do what they were assigned to do or agreed to do. But that's that reincarnation loop kind of thing. You come back and you do it again. You come back and then you do it again. You come back, you gain 8 points on the frequency scale, and you do it again. Come back, you get another 8 points, and you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Well, so they're saying, you know, that there's like a 26,000 year period between opportunities when this light period comes around, and apparently that's what we're in right now. So we can take this high road and go the ascension route and do, you know, increase our frequency along with the planet and along with all the energies that are coming through, and just evolving, or, you know, expanding, I like that word better, into this new realm. And everything that entails, and just kind of give up this duality matrix, and not have to go into that re-loop, you know, reincarnation, redo it again, you know, coming back, doing this all over again, one time, you know, and just only making so much progress each time. We can end that. We can say, okay, that's complete. I'm not going to do another 26,000 year cycle here this way anymore. I'm out of it. I'm going into the 5th dimension, and we're going to be doing that with DNA this afternoon. We're going to do going into the 5th dimension, so we're going to get into the God DNA, so that we're setting ourselves up to be, you know, time of awakening, right? So this can be our awakening, and so coming into alignment with who you are really and what you're here to do. So any thoughts that come up along that for you, make sure you take notes, or questions, you know, what is it? What was my purpose for being here? What did I agree to do? Is there somebody I can talk to and get channels. There's channels that can help you with that work. And then there's also the Akashic records, which I do have a protocol to tap into the Akashic. So I'll share that with you. I don't know if there's going to be time in this weekend to do that, but it's on my list of Zoom follow-up meetings topics that we can do. Okay, so let's see. Somebody got bumped out. Oh, yeah, Dia. Yeah, for some reason it's putting people into the, if they get bumped out, it's putting them into a waiting room. So I have to look that, so she just texted me, Dia. She got bumped out. So yeah, go ahead and text me anything that, that you need if I'm not paying attention. Or there's also this chat box here on the dashboard. So if you want to put something into the chat, you can, or you can, you know, send a message to everybody through there, or send it to me. I guess you can do it that way too. So that would be fine. So yeah, so those are my thoughts going forward. There's just a lot bigger scale now to put this into perspective. It's not business as usual the way it was, you know, even just a few months ago. It's all open.
I was thinking, isn't it fascinating that we're taking this training through this time? No mistakes. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yes, absolutely. No mistakes. Okay, so does anyone need a bathroom break before we go into our module on timelines?
Yeah, maybe just a 5 minute.
Okay, yeah. So let's take maybe, you know, 10 minutes, whatever you need. Get something to drink, go to the bathroom, whatever, and we'll regroup here. I'm just going to leave the everything open on the Zoom. Let the recording go. I better put Crystal back because drop out of my lap. All right, we'll see you back here. A1332814. A133.
Grab that box.
Here. On the very back, that's the license. Okay. Get a good one. Or, you know what I mean? Don't get the obvious cheap one. Well, don't, you know, get a. What's on sale? Out of sight. Yeah, I figure you could hear me. Hot water heater doesn't work. The new one. He spent all that time installing it, and apparently you have to rewire your house in 8-gauge wire. Can't have 10 gauge, which is code. No, and it doesn't say anywhere on the box. So of course that frustrated my husband. Was like, they should have it right on the box. You need 8-gauge wire in your home. So this is the second one he's bringing back now. The first one, it needed 3 220 breakers. We have 2, but not 3. So we brought that one back. Got this one. Did all the wiring, beautiful job of everything, and then he's sitting there with his hands under the faucet. Hot water any minute. No. No. So he called, and that's when they said 8-gauge. So like, no. So now, and then I told him, well, don't get the cheap one, we've got it. That was a tankless. Now we got to get one with the tank again. So I said, don't get the cheapie. Like my dad always said, don't buy the obvious cheap one, because then you'll be doing this again. So anyway, they're off on a mission. So yeah, so we're going until about, what would it be? 3 here, 3, 4, 5, about 6 Eastern time, I guess. So right in there. Yeah, so and if you have to go early, we are recording here, so you can catch the back end. And I'm going to be sending out the recordings later today for the morning session and then the afternoon. So I'll have 2 links. I got to put them up on YouTube first and get the links. So, but that's what we'll do. So we do have a separate link then to come back in after the lunch break. And then this recording will render. So we'll get it going that way. All right, so I don't know if everyone's back yet, but let me get my chart pulled up here. We're going to be doing timelines, and I did send a timeline chart to everybody in an email just before we started today. So,
Arlene?
yes.
Before we move any further, I have a question about the crystals.
Yeah.
Do you have any ones in particular that you use for the quantum?
Well, I like crystal. I really do. And the selenite is powerful, but yeah, crystal's mine. Everybody has, and emerald is my healing stone too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I have a friend in Sweden, and she, they call her Crystal Lotus. Margarita is her name, Margarita Crystal Lotus. And she's been all these different countries around the globe and got crystals. She used to have big, huge 5, what do you call those, drums, drums full of crystals, and she'd ship them back, from different places, and she dealt with these crystals. Anyway, she wrote a book, and I have it. I bought it. It's 600 pages. I think she knows what she's talking about. But I haven't gotten through the 600 pages. So, but that is on my continuing to do list, is to get more into particular ones that could be good. But yeah, I like just regular quartz. Works best.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you can share your ideas too, if something that you use or works for you.
I like amethyst.
Oh yeah, amethyst too.
And
Yeah,
clear quartz as well.
yeah, got my amethyst under here. There's a little piece under here. Keep a few things by my computer. And here's another thing you can do too, between you and your computer. You can imagine orange, either a ball or a blob of some kind of orange ball between you and the computer, and that will help with machine energies. Just like they have those orange glasses, I've got a pair of those. You can wear them at night, you know, if you're watching TV in bed or something like that. It's supposed to be good for canceling out all this, the television, you know, the light from the TV, to help you sleep better and stuff.
Yeah, the blue light.
The blue light, yeah, the blue blockers. Yep. So, so yeah, so if you want to open your email and see if you've got the PDF for timelines, I will put up the chart here.
What was the crystal that you said besides, right after you said the quartz crystal? I think it started with an S.
Yeah, selenite. Yeah.
What is it?
Selenite.
Selenite?
Yeah. Yeah, it has some real great qualities to it. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jared Hewitt. He's a lot of times on Darius, U-Wealth Revolution, on that show.
Yes.
I think he partners with him somehow. He's on there a lot. But Jared Hewitt, and he's got these weekly, and I think he's just offered it again not too long ago on Darius, weekly frequencies. And I bought them. Let's check here. I've got here. Yeah, so it's frequencies, and he infuses their MP3s. Okay, so audios that he infuses with crystals. Crystalline energy is what it is. And he's got stuff in here. He's got all 52 weeks described in what each thing you could have a topic. So one of them is freedom consciousness. So week 21 would be freedom consciousness. So whatever crystal resonated with that topic, he infuses with the in the audio. So it's really cool. But vitality is one. The crystalline chakras, soul fulfillment, foresight, hindsight, feeling strong in who I am, sacral cleansing, sacral awareness, the source point vortex, pineal harmonics. That sounds cool. Rewiring my energy for multidimensional functionality. I can get this link. This is his latest show offering. I think it's still available. And I'll put it in the chat box here. I'm working on 2 different computers, so here we go. But yeah, he does a good job with infusing.
Also, you know, the Crystal Bible is an oldie but a goodie.
Is it?
Of basics. Yeah, it's old. I mean, it's really old. Probably, I don't know, 15 years old, but it's kind of a good standard one too.
Crystal Bible, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. I didn't see it. I didn't see it going into the chat, so I landed it a few times. Let's see if that'll open a link, if it's still available or not. But Jared Hewitt. Vibrational sound therapy. Yeah, looks like it is still available. Yep. So it's either $197 and then they send it to you every week. They send one audio every week, or $247. You get them all at the up front. I think that's the one I did before. But now the one I got before had different physical things, you know, like one for hormones or PMS or, you know, other stuff like that. So these are manifesting in the new energies, I guess. So for time for total transformation, if you've, it is beyond question, beyond ascension as you've never experienced it, beyond wellness, beyond cosmic expansion. It's not just the keys, but the kingdom itself. So anyway, but yeah, very, very interesting. He's very popular, and yeah, frequency treatment. So, and we've probably been hearing a lot about that. Other people are doing frequency, and frequency will cancel, like they're saying, you know, like the coronavirus, it has a frequency. And there's this other woman that I've been following, sharing something. And she has the, she's toned into what frequency it is, the coronavirus. And she said it's not real. I mean, it's real, but it's not it's not natural. So nothing is, it's like there's two notes that are just like perfect or something, and nothing in nature is that way. So she's identified the frequency of it. And so I think you can use a counter frequency, which is interesting. So I've got more information on that too, work she's doing. And the right.
What's her name?
What is her name? I've got her pulled up here somewhere.
Are you talking about Stacy Mayo?
No, I'm not.
Because she talks about, or Jimmy, oh no, you said it was a woman. Okay. About
Yeah.
unscrambling.
Yeah, no, I had it up on this computer. Apparently it's not here.
Lynn Waldrop?
No, it's not somebody that's currently on the shows.
Oh, okay.
Durham show, but she's done, she did an interview on a YouTube channel.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and that's how I found out about her. I get emails from her a lot. I will, since I've got on her list. So I'll forward her information to you too, because she's the one that I thought was real interesting. With frequencies. Okay, frequencies. Okay, I'll send that to you.
There's, Jody had sent us one about this Christoph sound zapping frequency for the coronavirus.
Okay.
Is that maybe it or not?
That's a different one.
Okay.
Yep. So I think then that's what I'm saying. You're probably seeing a few of these lately, because I did see another one from a show, Coronavirus Energy Antidote. And it was by that Nidhu Kapoor woman. So she's got the light, bright, white virus antidote in an MP3. She's got Tibetan bells in there. I don't know. It's I'm not sure, but you may be seeing more on frequency.
I think it's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I guess I don't see her off the top of my, but I'll send it. I'll find it. So, all right, let's get into, we've got a lot to do here with timelines. So I'm going to share my screen. And this will go along with the chart I sent. Okay, so there's different timelines: mental, emotional, family, energetic, physical, karma, cycles, and spirals that have been identified. So The chart will go along with the narrative here. So what we want to look at first is clearing the past, if you will, right? So let's all start a clearing right now here. And karma. Karma is part of the past, right? So we want to be able to clear for karma, and this can be with, we're going to clear with karma with corporations, companies, countries, towns, locations, religions, spiritual organizations, political groups, whatever we've been involved with that may have left some, had an impact on our timeline, and to be free of this stuff. So
Marlene, I printed off the sheets, but this sheet was not part of it.
Right, yeah. So this is going to clear karma. So it will be on, I can send you the slides too if you want my slides. I can do it too.
That
Yeah,
would be great.
and we're going to be going into each of those on the chart here too, but this is a general clearing first, and this is going to clear the past. So intend these things for you, that you're clearing this stuff right now. So you have Lucifer stops, bloodline, things in clans, satanic curses, demonic curses, evil spirit curses, karma, trauma, that's two things. Trauma, spirals, there's timelines, emotional and mental, and cycles, group mind virus, curse, atheist thought forms, control energy, contracts, agreements, DNA, and DNA of others. We're going to go into what this is this afternoon, and then resets. And then there's the emotions: resentment, unforgiveness, anger, guilt, blame, greed, deception, bitterness, anxious, frightened, overwhelmed, sorrow, grief, shame. And then we have some anchors: mechanism, seeds, holographic inserts, auditory scions, and nanotechnology. And then we have the dark energy beings: reptoids, zetas, burrows, draconians, the entity chameleons, fallen angels, and walk-ins. Walk-ins can be human or angelic. These are human that would be responsible for it, and then their anchors. So a lot of stuff here that can be blocking you from, keeping you in this karmic thing. So now karma, you can clear karma with, groups, what we're seeing here, and companies, and then places, countries, towns, cities, right? So maybe somewhere that you lived, there was something that, wasn't something not so good that happened. And that's always kind of been like in the back of your mind, whatever. We can clear that. Okay, clear karma. So it's not just with people. Obviously you can clear karma with people, but you can clear it with places and groups as well. So, so it could even be companies that you worked for. Yeah, because there's, and I did that. I made a long list of places, all the places I can remember that I worked at, cleared karma with them. And yeah, so this is what we want to look at working on right now. Another thing that you can do is make a long list or a short list. I don't know why I said long, but make a list of the partners that we've had, right? Maybe it's a short list, maybe it's long, but whatever it is, as many as you can think of, and put them all on a list, and then clear your karma with these people too. So, so anyone that we were in a relationship with or a partner with at some point, so you can clear karma with them, so you don't have to come back and do this again with them. So that's your past. So that can be an assignment. So I highly suggest it. I really, really do. So take this one seriously. It really is serious. I had a husband that died well, like 30 years ago now. And he was always sticking around. Like he would be a ghost, right, in my field. And he was, I guess I had carried him for a few years in my field and I didn't know it, you know, back then. And then there were a lot of things around it. And then I found, okay, so a lot of different reasons. Okay, why is he still here? What's, you know, why can't he just, I asked him to leave and he didn't, keeps coming back and so forth. So then I cleared karma with him, and yeah, and he's not, you know, it doesn't happen anymore, but it used to. So yeah, it's very, very powerful, this stuff. And it can hold us into patterns that we're just, we don't want to, you know, and keeps us back. Okay, Sherry Edwards, that's the lady's name, Sherry Edwards, SHARRY, Edwards, EDW, ARDS. Sound Health Radio is what she's on. But yeah, so Sherry Edwards with the frequencies for COVID. Okay, so yeah, so this is what we're working on right now. So everybody can do the amping or pumping. Let's all do that and see. And some of these may not apply to you or your clients, whoever you're going to do this with. And I'm going to teach you another way to do karma clearing. So this, you can clear it this way. Another way you can clear karma is you can see a golden ring. So this this golden ring is hollow. Okay, so it's just a ring, and you can fill up the top part of the ring. So like if you take, for example, I'm going to take my, you know, late husband. Okay, so we'll say any karma that I had with Mike. Okay, so let's just put any karma I had with Mike and just fill up the top part of the ring. Put it all in there. Okay, and any karma he has with me, you can just see the bottom half of the ring being filled in. Karma he has with me. So you just continue, you know, amping the energy, putting it in there, filling up the ring, and just getting a sense of, okay, am I 80% complete, 90, 100? When you get to 100%, then you've got this ring filled in the top, filled in completely in the bottom, and then you take it, and then you can toss this ring on the ground. You can toss a couple of magnetic roses, beautiful magnetic roses on top of this ring on the ground. And then you can take a little bomb. And this could even be like a little cartoon bomb, you know, from the old cartoons, and just toss that on top and just blow the whole thing up. And if there's anything left at all, you can take a couple of new beautiful magnetic roses, toss that on top of this little teeny pile that's left, and a new little cartoon bomb, and blow it up. And then test, is it gone? Yes, it's complete. It wouldn't be gone. It's not the word, it's complete. Yeah, so you can do that. That's one way you can do it. And that's one way you could teach somebody else to do it if you wanted to tell a client, hey, you know, do your parents, do your sister, brother, relatives, friends, bosses, old bosses, whoever you know, you may have worked with. But you can test, first of all, do I have karma with this person? No. Okay, well then you don't need to do it, right? So make the list, test who you need to do it with, cross out the rest of them. Although you could still have shared energy with these other people too, so don't cross off the list right away. So check for karma, then check for shared energy, and then you can check for cords. Are there cords between you? And then you're going to want to do the cords as well. So here's something you can do for cords. So if you do find, yes, I do have a cord with my ex, Well, you want that complete, right? So, so you will visualize, okay, so if there's a cord plugged into you, an energetic cord, where do you feel it? And a lot of times people will say like in their sacral area, and I'll say, okay, great. So go ahead and take it and grab a hold of it like it was a cord that you're going to pull out of the wall, like an outlet, you know, the electrical cord. So you just take it and then you pull it out, and then your arm would extend all the way out past your aura. So once you unplug it, extend your arm all the way out. So it's past your aura before you drop it. So pull it out, extend your arm and drop it. And then you can visualize the other person. So where was it plugged into that other person? Well, sometimes like if this individual wasn't over her ex yet, maybe she has this cord into the testicles. And this is very common, and you don't even have to be an ex, sometimes just to keep track of people. You know, like when they go off to work or do whatever, it's like, okay, I don't trust them, I'm going to send my energy. Although you don't know that you're doing this consciously. People who are jealous or whatever will do this a lot. So you may see that it's the cord then is on his testicles, right? So anyway, you can just imagine then that you're unplugging the other end, going ahead and dropping that end then too on the ground. So now you have this cord laying on the ground. So now again, couple of beautiful magnetic roses on top of it, a little bomb, and pew, blow it up. Couple new roses and a new little bomb, if there's anything left at all, and blow it up. And then check to see, is there a cord? Do I have a cord? No. And then you're going to want to work with the aura, because you know, maybe the aura is a little damaged in the area that this was, right? So do some aura work and clear up the aura layers. And you might want to do it on the other person as well, because you were working energetically with that individual too. So that's cords. Now,
Can there be more than one cord?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So check to see the number of cords. And are they all with the same person? Maybe there's another person involved. So, so keep this list, right? And then, so you might want to have the names all down the left-hand column, and then another column for cords, another column for shared energy, another column for karma. So you can muscle test for this person. Do I have cords with them, shared energy with them, karma with them? Nope. Okay, cross them out, right? And then the next person, right? This is really going to free you up. This is going to free you up. Phew, big time. Yeah, because, and those thoughts of exes, just like, oh God, I hate when he did that. That was just awful, right? Well, I don't even think of that stuff anymore. It doesn't come to mind, right? So a lot of this will just free your mind. Just, whew, all that energy just, you know, doesn't have to run anymore. And then all the energy that we're giving to this thing, right? So we can have all that back. Now, shared energies. So that's the other one. Shared energy, you're looking at who do you have shared energy with, right? Let's just say it's a sister. Okay, so then you can imagine yourself standing 6 to 8 feet, because we're socially distancing here, of this sister, right? So you're 6 to 8 feet away from her, and you each have a beautiful, long, really long stemmed rose, and you're hanging on to the stem of this really long, tall rose, right? And then your sister also has one. She's holding on to hers, and they can be different colors. It doesn't matter. Yours is yellow, hers is pink, whatever. And then you imagine that you're sending all of the energy that you have of hers back to her, but you're sending it into her rose. It's a magnetic rose. So it's taking all the energy that you have of hers that you still have, and you're giving it back, but you're sending it straight into her rose. And then the other person, you're just going to have to visualize this, is also doing the same thing. So you can see then the sister or whoever it is sending all of your energy back to you, but it's going into your rose. So you're holding your rose. All of your energy now is coming back into it from her. So you can just kind of visualize, you can kind of see this energy exchange going, you know, from the person into the rose, from the person into their rose, right? So it's just kind of, right? And you can see that going, and spend a little time there until you feel that it is all, you've sent every bit of energy that there's back. And then muscle test, are you complete? Okay, what about them? Did they give me all my energy back? Is it now in my rose? 80%. No, keep going. Okay, and then you can just amp it, all right? 80, 90, 100%. Okay, so as soon as you get to 100%, now you're each holding these roses. And now all of your energy is in your rose now. You can tip it on top of your head and just let it all drain in through the top of your head. Every last bit of energy from this rose is now draining into your head, coming back into your body, your field, and they're doing the same. So the other person is also, you can envision that they're getting their energy back. And then you would muscle test to see, okay, is it complete? And when you get to 100%, okay, great. Now you can toss, both of you are going to toss the roses on the ground. And then again, you're going to put 2 new beautiful magnetic roses on top of that, and a little bomb, and pew, blow it all up. If there's anything left at all, 2 new roses on top of that little heap, and a new little bomb, and pew, blow it up. Now muscle test to see if there's shared energy between you, and you should get no. Yep.
So why do you pour it over your head? If it's negative energy, why do you pour it over your head?
It's not negative energy, it's your energy. So what it is that they have your energy. So you've given them your energy, or maybe they've taken your energy, or just in this situation, let's just say from the woman who's sending, who's courted into this ex, for example. Well, yeah, she's actually taking his energy from him. She's taking it, because this cord is exchanging energy too, right? So she's taking his energy. So if you're testing someone's life force, and you know, you've cleared the attachments, you've got their chakras, you know, up to 100%, right? And there's still some energy drain there. That could be what it is. You can check for cords, shared energy. Yeah, it's your energy, and so you want that back. So that's why you're going to drain it out of the rose, because that rose is purifying it. So when it came from them, it's going to purify it into this rose, and then you'll take it back once it's purified. Yep. Yep. So it's and that's why this is so important, because you may be having an energy drain here that you're not aware of. And it could be, okay, so then, yeah, so then once you do, you toss and bomb it, right? So check to see, okay, karma, is there karma left with this person? No. Is there shared energy with this person? No. Cords with this person? No. Check them off the list. I know it's a big assignment. It can be, you know, the older we get, the more people we know, but make it like an ongoing thing. So even if you can just do a few a day or whatever it is, if you get the weekend to work on something like this, this is definitely going to help you. And then this can be something that you can do for clients as well. You know, unstick from your past. I did a program called Divorce Detox, and this was part of that package. And I included this stuff because there's the ex, right? So you know, they probably do still have a cord with the ex if they're the one that didn't want the breakup maybe or whatever, and they're still courting into this person, taking his energy, you know, for example, the shared energy, the karma, you know, we're going to come back. We've made agreements, and that's another thing, is you can check for agreements too, because you've probably made some agreements between each other, and they could be, and that's the agreements that we clear on the amplification chart. That's that's things that we've made with an agreement that we made with people, that it can go, let's see, what does it say here? 3 lifetimes. So let's just read it here. It's verbal agreements you agree with another person or a group with an intention of fulfilling that agreement at a later date. So it could just say, I'm always going to love you. I will always be with you, blah, 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 whatever. But if they don't get fulfilled, then these things can stay with you and create a type of a karma that can carry on for more than 3 lifetimes. So that means you could be brought together again in a future life to fulfill that agreement. Yeah. And things there to clear would be, there's resentment, unforgiveness, and bitterness. Those are the emotions to clear. And then there's, well, these are the things you would clear for agreements. I'll just put it in the chat, but it's on your charts then too. Yeah, so you definitely want to do X's and do all of these. So the 4th column, you know, you've got cords, shared energy, karma, and you might want to put agreements as a 4th column. Yep. And now you too, if with this X, for example, control energy, you might want to add that as a column too. If you're really wanting to clear this stuff with people, because that's energy from one person to another, can be found in the body and the aura. Now, of course, there's many different types of energy control, okay? But it could be from a group, you know, like this group believes this is what we do. If in order for you to belong, we're going to control, you know, your thoughts around these things. You comply with what we believe. But it also can be, you know, from an individual in a relationship. Like if somebody was dominating, controlling in the relationship, you're going to want to clear control energy. Get that off you. It's also says here about doctors, medical control energy. For example, that's an example. They put the white lab coat on and all of a sudden people just give their power away to that control.
Oh, God, that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
And can you do that with someone you're in relationship with?
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, you don't want to be courting into anybody anymore, and you do want your energy back. So take your energy back. Don't have shared energy with these people. You don't really need karma or agreements with these people. You know, yes, it's great to have this relationship here in this lifetime, but it doesn't really mean that you're going to, you know, I mean, the next lifetime, maybe you have a relationship with somebody else, right? You don't have to, even though you're madly in love with this person, blah, 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 blah. Well, like if they're not your soulmate or whatever, well, maybe that's not who you're going to be with next time. You know, I mean, just realistically,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I would do definitely your current. Yeah, because you want all your energy. You don't want to be going around with 90% of your energy. You know. Oh, and him too, you know, he should have all of his energy to do what he's here to do as well. And then there's other things on the amplification chart too. So you can see, well, maybe this person's put curses on you, this X, or maybe somebody, a co-worker, you know, who you just weren't really sure about what they were up to, you know. Check for curses. And that could be something that you could do on a daily basis too. In the morning, sometimes I like to do that, because who did you have a conversation with throughout the day? You know, is there somebody who is disgruntled? Is there someone who maybe is jealous of you? Okay, I had a lot of that jealousy stuff, and to me, I didn't understand it I didn't understand it, especially like when my ex died, or wasn't ex, I don't know what you call him. When he died, there was a lot of stuff that came out, and a lot of it was around jealousy. He was a popular guy, but these women were coming out of the woodwork that from like high school and different things, like jealous of me. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it, you know? So they could have put a curse on me. And back then I didn't know to check, right? So, but this is definitely things that people do. And they might not know that they're actually cursing you. That doesn't have to be put into those types of terms, but it's something that, you know, if they have some type of ill will towards you, whatever that happens to mean. And then it just broadcasts out to you, you know, into your frequency. It can lower your frequency. Usually, okay, so here's what you would clear for curses. There's anger, greed, disappointed, and bitterness. So somebody's angry with you, somebody is greedy or disappointed over something, or bitter around whatever, perceived injustice or something. But
Marlene?
Yeah.
Dia here. I was just wondering, could you do a quickie demo on how you do that in the mornings? Just like to see it live for you.
Well, I just do it in my head. I'll just say,
Okay.
Do I have any curses on me? Right? And if I get a yes, okay, how many? 3? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I don't have 3, but that's what you would do. And then you just clear it. Just doing
the quantum pump. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just doing that, and just clear the curse, and then just muscle test again. Am I down to 0? Okay, I've got none. Okay, good. But every day it's great to just check.
Nice. Okay, thanks.
So do you find the emotion, or do you figure out who put the curse, or you're just clearing them?
I just clear it. I mean, you maybe get a hit on it was probably this person that I talked to yesterday who was really disgruntled over something, maybe. Or who knows, maybe it's somebody who was in traffic. You don't know who that was. You didn't even know that you ticked someone off, or just flipping people off at the stoplight, or that's essentially a curse when someone does that, or really honks at you. They're really saying things to you, putting that into your car, into your space, yeah. So it could be traffic, yeah. We don't even know who they are. Yeah. So your life force, it's gonna, could take the life force down, right? So, and then so this is a good thing then to do every morning as well. Do I have any curses? What's my life force? And if it's not up there, well then, geez, do I have any attachments? And then you might want to check this actually at the end of the day. It would be better so that you don't have to go to sleep with this stuff. To check it at the end of the day. Okay, throughout the day, do I have any curses? Okay, clear that. Anything in my field I should know about, what's going on. Okay, clear there. What's my life force? Okay, and then get everything up to 100%.
And are you finding out specifically what attachments are there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that you do want to know what it is you're clearing, because some of them won't identify when you just say, do I have attachments? Oh no, nothing here. Right. And I find that usually with demons, risen demons, those a lot of times when you're muscle testing, you'll get, is there demons? No, wait a second. Yes, there is. Okay, or okay, how many? 1, wait, no, there's 2. Okay, so a lot of times they're sneaky, and there's different ones that you'll find you have to maybe ask it a different way, ask a different question. or just ask again, you know, how many is there? You know, and don't take just the first thing that comes, because that's how sneaky they are, right? So they can try and work in your perception. And a lot of these things work in our perception. Thoughts that aren't our own, evil thoughts, dark thoughts, that kind of stuff. So.
And are you figuring out how they're anchored and the emotions as well?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So go through your charts and
Okay.
Make sure you're checking for each attachment, each entity. You're going to want to identify for certain, and then identify the anchors. So that would be, you know, the implants or the seeds or whatever, and then also the emotions that are anchors.
Okay.
So yeah, resentment, disappointment, you know, bitterness, and clear those. Yeah. And then any other anchors that are identified on the charts as anchors. Yeah, definitely. Yep. So, yeah, so those are the ones that you can check for before you go to bed. And then again in the morning if you want to, and just, you know, because maybe, maybe you went somewhere overnight. A lot of people travel overnight. So and at night you can say to your body, I'm going to be staying right here. I'm not going anywhere tonight. I'm not traveling. I'm staying right here. I've even heard of somebody who, like, mind control, they actually go places and they're told to do things or something that they're, you know, under mind control, and they actually go somewhere and, you know, a couple hours, whatever, and come back and go back to bed, and they have no idea in the morning that they even actually drove places or whatever. But what I'm talking about is like just astral traveling and, you know, things like that. Now, in my dreams, I do stuff, but, you know, it's hard to say. Now, did I astral travel? Where did I go? You know, because sometimes you can get into these dark areas, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say is at night before you go to bed, you know, just connect with the divine and just say, I'm connected to the divine all night, and whatever it is that you know, if you have a prayer, that's, you know, great to connect and keep yourself connected throughout the night. Request that. And then in the morning, just in case you went somewhere, check, you know, check and clear yourself if you did. So that's a great exercise. So now let's just go back to this clearing chart and see, check yourself, muscle test. Now I want to show you what I have. This is baking, what is it? Baking powder? No, yeah. Baking powder, I guess.
Cornstarch?
Yeah, for muscle testing. So
Baking soda?
yeah, I think so. Cornstarch. Sorry, that's what it is. It's cornstarch. So it makes your hands slippery. So here in the desert Southwest, especially in this room, I've got the south-facing window here. I can get a little hot in here sometimes. So just to get my, you know, feel my fingers more slippery and feeling things a little bit more easily. That's what I'll use. So whatever works for you. Cornstarch, yep, that's it. Okay, so how are we doing with the clearing? About 77% for everybody. I'm getting here, so you can come back and just, you know what, just I'm going to go on for those of you who aren't complete yet, and then just keep this going. So keep your intention going that you're continuing to clear this karma chart. Okay, so let's move into the mental timelines. All right, so these are formed from what human spirit does with the life and the challenges at hand. So it's not your thoughts or your human nature. It's compelling ancestral program. So what you do with your life and your challenges. Okay, so these programs transmit signals using the spiritual neurotransmitters into the ancestral field and embeds timeline events there. So what it does with the intense circumstances of life related to difficulties in your soul family or your ancestors. So this can be, you know, around wealth or poverty. It could be around relationships. It could be around your health, physical vitality, and so forth. Or issues, you know, things that are wrong with you. So, you know, handicaps or disabilities, that kind of stuff. So mental timelines. So you can think of the timeline as, you know, you can see it actually as going forward into the future, and then here you are, and then you can see it as going into the past. So you can see this one long timeline, and you can see it as like a golden stream, if you will, or a golden line. Okay, so you can visualize, you know, things that happened in the past, right? And you can send gold energy then into that time in your past, right? Into that space on the timeline. So if you see the timeline, you could do it this way. You can see, are there past lives or past experiences that have anything to do with this current issue that's going on? So for example, wealth or poverty here, just say, you know, why do I have such lack and limitation in my life? You know, was there something that was put onto the mental timeline in the past from your ancestors, usually, around working hard? Oh God, you got to work hard. You know, maybe they were farmers. So I found this out because I have farmers, you know, in my ancestors, and they came here from Sweden, went to Minnesota, and just did what they did, right? They started up farms and they worked from sun up to sundown. Everybody pitched in, the whole family. You had 8 kids, this and that, right? And that's what you did. You worked hard. So yes, there was lack and limitation. You only had what you had, right? A pig and some chickens and whatever, cows. And so these things can be, you know, that work hard program. Where does that come from? Well, it could be on your mental timeline, you know. So so that's how things get embedded there. So you've got this running on your timeline now. So you could say, okay, so we can clear, and here's this chart here. We can clear the mental timeline. So clearing these issues with neutrality can help fully dissolve the issues, removing challenges for future generations, right? So that that work hard program. So now if you want to work here in the mental timeline, clear this stuff off from the mental timeline. Now you could be helping your offspring to not have to go into that lack and limitation. And, oh, I got to work so hard, you know, hoeing and raking, and oh my gosh, you know, and the challenge and the strife, right? So clearing, you can go ahead and you can clear using this chart here, or also the chart is pretty much same thing I sent on the chart here. Yeah, and this is pretty much everything I copied. Yeah, so formed from what here human spirit does with the life and the challenges at hand is what the mental timeline is. So now you're going to be using visualization, and you're going to be sending beautiful healing energy, and then you can use this, I call it the shooting dice shooting dice kind of move, and you're in the timeline and you're just sending this beautiful golden energy into the timeline, and then you can just maybe kind of just send it throughout the whole timeline. So you've got, you know, present, past, future, clearing at the same time. So you can visualize this happening, and then you can see the event or any events on your timeline. You can see them as showing up as black, little black spots.
Arlene, is this is both like ancestral in terms of bloodline, like generations, but also lifetimes, right? Like we're doing both at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
Past lives and also generational, intergenerational?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely. These are from past lives. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's mental, and you're going to want to do the clearing here for the mental timeline. So check to see if you're at 100% or where you are, and that's shooting dice. You can do that. Here, so okay, so now the next one is emotional. Now emotions, here, these are formed from thoughts from what we think of as human, related to body awareness and amplified, compelling ancestral feelings. So it's feelings your ancestors may have felt that, you know, life is hard, life's a struggle. So these emotional signals vibrate into family auric field, the family auric field, and is part of the golden ring information and on into the timeline. And golden ring, you can kind of see like that. What that means is like, you know, how Jesus, you would see in the Bible, picture of a golden ring, the halo thing, right? So that's that, where that is. And then on into the timeline of ancestral emotional knowledge, emotional well-being. So that could be anxiety, relationships, social friendships, loneliness, success, failure. All those things are related to emotions. So for that emotional timeline, I have clearings.
Marlene?
Yep.
I noticed on the chart for the mental, it said praying mantis, and I don't remember seeing it on the slideshow. Oh, there it is. Can you go over that?
Yeah, it's just a different entity. So we just clear it as an attachment, just like the rest of them. And you can use like this, you know, right hand kind of swirl thing, doorknobby kind of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta shut my door here. The breeze keeps opening it and closing it. Here we go. Okay. So now into the emotional timeline clearing. So a lot of stuff here just didn't all fit that way, so I guess I put it all in here. Does that mean these are all emotions, I guess, starting from here. So evil, spirit, curses, trauma, atheist thought forms, control energy, and then all of these, a lot of emotions. Obviously, we're on the emotional timeline. So I'll check each one, and then you have your anchors here, and then you have dark energies here, and they're anchors. And then, so palm up this way, you can use here to clear this. So clearing these issues with appreciation helps dissolve negative emotional vibrations from ancestors and removes or lightens the issue for future generations. So again, you're also affecting future generations because you're affecting the timeline. So you've got the past, but you also have the present, and then you also have the future. So when I check things, I can check, well, how many, how many lifetimes ago. Now for that, I go back 9 lifetimes, so 9 incarnations. That's where we find that impact will have been left in the current, right? So you don't have to go back any further than 9, but you can check, okay, did anything around this particular issue, is anything on my emotional timeline around the emotional feeling of being, you know, a worker slave. You know, you could put it like that. You know, from the farmers of my past and my genealogy ancestors. Anything around that in, you know, like one lifetime ago? No. How about 2 lifetimes ago? No. 3 lifetimes ago? Yes. Well, then you can ask, well, how old was I? So then you can just check, and you can just, sometimes you just hit right on it. You just come up to it, but you can, otherwise you can go in intervals of 5 years. Was I 5, 10? No. Okay, 5, 6. No, so it was 5, right? Or whatever. So age 5, 3 lifetimes ago, age 5. And sometimes you'll get a hit about what that was about. So sometimes you can see yourself as wearing some real shabby clothes, and maybe times were really tough. You were in some little hut looking thing, and everybody was working really hard, right? So, okay, so that left an impact on you. All right, so let's go ahead now and send some beautiful healing energy into that time, into that lifetime. Let's clear the emotional timeline there. Let's clear, actually, what I like to do is I like to give that little 5-year-old a hug. And, you know, I mean, even if it wasn't you, even if this is a client, you've got that little 5-year-old feeling helpless, hopeless, just standing there in this little shabby dress, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know. So I just hug these little people, you know, and just give them reassurance.
I find, Marlene, a technique, I don't know where it came from, but it just happened spontaneously or organically, is when when those present themselves, is the deep acknowledgement, for sure, that they just need to be seen, and then holding the intention that the wisdom from that lifetime comes through to this lifetime, like that the wisdom is one, like we're one with the wisdom and the lessons learned, and that the pain and suffering can release, like seeing it, like almost saying, okay, that lifetime can go now, it's complete because I've integrated the wisdom, and really seeing that wisdom coming into this lifetime and my my present, or my
yes, absolutely. And
something about the lesson learned, like it's almost like I've experienced it as a blind spot, and I've been so ashamed or fearful of looking at that person, so it perpetuates or it stays. And so when I can look at it in the timeline and fully embrace it, and know, like deep down, that that is me today, like we're so multidimensional that that's still me. Like it's not all separate, and really embracing that oneness with that past lifetime. And the only way to release it is to sink deeper into that oneness. So with the wisdom or lessons from them.
mm-hmm.
Sense, but
yeah, very good. And two, just so you know, the only thing that you're clearing here is you're not clearing away the life. You're clearing away just the impact that trauma had on that individual. So just that impact. So the whole experience stays there. You're not clearing anything away from the experience, just that emotional tug.
The imprint.
The imprint. There you go. Yep. So then hug them. You can hug them, and, you know, reassure them everything is fine. They're loved. Just give them love, love, love. And then just go ahead again and send the beautiful healing energy through the timeline. You can see that little black spot on the timeline just melt and disappear. And now it's all beautiful crystal, where there was a dark spot before. So that's complete. And then you can go on. Okay, so was there anything around 4 lifetimes ago? No. 5? No. 6? Yes. Age, isn't that interesting? Age 5 again. Okay. So what happened there? And it's not totally necessary that you need to know what happened there to clear this. You don't, because if nothing's coming up for you right now, or you're really in a hurry, you only have a 30-minute session with this person, you've already used the first 25 minutes and now you're down to this. Okay, so just clear. Just clear this stuff, right? And then just do the intending that and sending love, whatever it is. You don't have to know what actually happened to the child in that lifetime if it's not coming right off the bat. But if it does, fine. And if you want to share it with the other person, that's fine. Or not, just depending on who the client is. And then going on from there. Okay, how about 7 lifetimes ago? 8, 9, 9. Okay, so that was age 4 or 5. Well, isn't this totally interesting? Now we've got 3 lifetimes, 6 lifetimes, and 9 lifetimes ago, age 5. Did something happen to you in this life around age 5? You can ask your client, and a lot of times you're going to get a yes. I had whatever issue, and so then you're going to want to clear around that. So that's a current timeline issue. So you can see that as like a black spot. Okay, so this is leaving a black spot, or did leave, you know, when you were 5. So now let's clear out the black spot off the timeline. Clear it off, sending the beautiful healing energy now into that timeline, hugging the little 5-year-old, whatever it is. And now you've also seen that we may have a pattern set up here, right? So now you got 3 lifetimes, 6 lifetimes, 9 lifetimes. Well, what's going to come up in the future? Oh yeah, you've got 2 more coming up in the next 9 years in the future. Oh boy, so let's take care of this. So then you can look at them individually if you'd like, or you know, you can clear. Okay, so let's clear the 1 lifetime in the future. Let's clear the 2nd lifetime coming up in the future, sending some beautiful healing energy into that timeline. Seeing that little, you know, spot, the black spot, just disappear off the timeline. And then just sending the beautiful gold healing energy into the timeline. And then testing. Okay, so it should come up. No, there is nothing on that 9 lifetimes ago. No, doesn't come up. Okay, good. So now you're complete with that. So yeah, so this is the emotional. Then there's family timeline. Okay. This is formed from bloodline, family brand, if you will. So formed from what human spirit and animal do with family life, including patriarchal and matriarchal suppressions and challenges at hand, compelling family leadership programs. Your family brand could suppress you, keeping you down or where you are, and neurotransmitters informing family timeline. So neurotransmitters then inform the family timeline, place something on the timeline there. So social connections, social status, military, political, religious, corporation, country, these kind of connections. But yeah, formed from bloodline, family brand. So looking at the family chart, you've got bloodline, interesting, right? And then, yeah, soul contracts, there's curses, there's trauma, of course, atheist thought forms, meaning you don't believe in the power to heal. Control energy, there's some control here, you know, maybe from the patriarchal system or who knows what. Resentment, you've got all these emotions, sad, sick, stress, distress, desire, envy, shame. Then you have some anchors, and then some dark energies, Pleiadian, that might be one that wasn't on the chart either. And not to say that there's anything wrong with the Pleiades, because there's not. I guess my husband was a starseed from the Pleiadians. But if there's anything in your field, like there's good and bad with everything, right? So if there's anything, it's just been identified as being in some people's field, right? So Pleiadian 4, maybe the Pleiadian 3s are fine, but the 4s are just as bad, the bad brand, right? So that's what you're clearing here. walk-ins here, they could be human or angel, either one, and then leaving permeations and that. So, and then you would use that.
Marlene, our list is not the same as the list that you've got up there. Like we don't, there's, on my sheet, there's no reticulin. There's no saturs.
Really?
Yeah. So could you send these sheets and then we can update?
There is, because it's on the page just before that. There was like the page, and then it's went into the next page. So family started on page 2, but most of it's on page 3. So I think if you were looking at the bottom of page 2, it says family.
I see, yes, I see satyr. Okay, I see.
Saturs are there, and then
Yeah.
right beneath that reticulins. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
And B2. Yeah.
got it, sorry.
And it may have been, it may have kind of
So
been
seeds,
out of
embedding.
portals.
I don't
Yeah,
see I don't see portals.
Yeah, that's on, let's see, I'm gonna stop sharing here and I will share.
Oh, it's on the first page too, okay.
Yeah,
I got it.
okay. Yeah, so that's, it got cut off there. Yeah, so go back to the prior page. But yeah, okay, so we've got this clearing. Again, doing that shooting dice kind of action there. So this will clear the family timelines, as well as looking at the black spot there, seeing that disappear, and shooting into the.
So is that how we do it? We look at the family timeline and see the black spots and then send gold? Is that how you do it? Or do you go into all of
Yes,
all
no,
of this?
here's the shorter version, okay? I'll tell you the
Yes.
shorter version. Here's the long version, so you can really zero in and just say, hey, something didn't clear all the way. Then you can go back to your charts and just go in and drill deep. But the short
Okay.
version here is looking at, okay, so this person has an issue with, let's just say addictions, okay? So you can clear that off their timeline. So was there something in their family? Was there something in mental, you know, with the ancestral, somebody drank or whatever back at some point? Okay, doesn't matter. So this person now has a drinking addiction, let's just say. Okay, so is there anything on their timeline? And you can say energetic, physical, mental, emotional. If you get a yes on one, note that. The rest of them that you don't, whatever, don't pay attention. Okay, so just, okay, now you've got one on emotional. Okay, so you know you need to clear emotional timelines. And then just intend then that you're gonna do the clearing chart for emotions. But really, you can look at it from a high level and just do what I just said. Is there anything around addictions, drinking, alcohol, you know, and in just the umbrella of addictions that occurred in any past lives that is impacting the current existence? Yes. Okay. So then that's where 1 lifetime ago? No. 2? No. 3? Yes. What age? Blah, 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 right? So just do that up to 9 lifetimes plus the future. And the future would be up to 9 lifetimes as well. So 9 in the past, 9 in the future. And that's really where you need to go. So you don't have to do each one of these for each person. That would just be way out of, you know, time constraints for most session situations. But
And then what you're doing is sending gold into the timeline and seeing the black spot.
Yes, and that's
leave.
the nice kind of thing, is you're just seeing it going through the whole timeline. Yeah, and then it's just disappearing, that black spot. And then you can test, okay, is 3 lifetimes ago, age 5, is there an issue on the timeline? No. Okay, so then it cleared. Yep. So energetic would be the next area. This is timeline of the self.
Marlene, hi.
Yes.
Real quick, on the previous slide where it says seeds embedding in portals, what is that connected to?
It's not connected to any of these other things.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not part of these others. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. So you would think, well, it should be with, there's already embedding with these guys, right? And seeds with these guys. But you can do them separate just because they were identified as being an anchor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know that's confusing. So this is the timeline of the self. Nothing to do with your family. So, and it's memory, your memory of past lives and difficulties not fully understood or resolved. So unresolved problems appear and they're felt as a controlling or directed force. Unresolved problems. And it is your unresolved challenges with human emotions from previous lives that need completion. So that looks similar to karma, actually includes karma from difficult relationships. And you are the source and the center of these issues. So relationship problems, like if you have the same thing but not the same person, like if you chose somebody who was an abuser, you can divorce them, but the next person up might also be an abuser, right? So that pattern, social abilities, you know, loneliness, isolation, etc. So you're the source of these issues. Now, robot swirl, it's more like a robot. Okay, and
Can you show us the robot swirl again? I would have my eyes.
robot.
Oh, okay.
It could be chopping, whatever, karate, whatever you want to call it, but that's what this is. Okay, so that's energetic, and the clearings would be.
Where is the robot thing?
It's like this.
But where is it on our page?
Right here. I put it up at the top on the energetic. Each of these I have a different, you know, movement that you can. Yeah. I should probably have put it on this chart here because that's where it really goes, to show where.
Marlene, I have a question.
But we don't have it on our chart.
It's down as the karate chop.
Oh, yes. Okay, it does show karate chop on here. So it could be either, yeah. I mean, karate chop, whatever you want to identify it as. Yep.
Marlene, I have a question.
Yeah.
As I'm doing this, like, I'm finding as timeline, I'm sort of working on my own, but I'm getting lots of drop-ins of my own family. Like, can you do all this simultaneously? Like, I'm feeling like as I sit here, I'm doing my clearings, then my daughter is coming through and I'm going down different lines, and then my husband pops in and I can see his timelines. Is it possible to do, I guess that would be being more like a family clearing, but you're getting different channels off everyone? I'm seeing that. So I feel like I'm multitasking in terms of clearing all at the same time.
Well, you can maybe start that way, but I wouldn't end it that way. I would go into each one individually before I completed and just say, maybe it wasn't all complete, you know, for your daughter, right? So, you know, some things may have cleared, but maybe not everything.
Yeah, like I'm seeing, like as I'm doing myself, I'm seeing some behavioral patterning, like coping strategies. And I'm like, oh, those are past life coping strategies and them coming through. So that, if that starts to happen, just make sure I complete with each person independently.
Yes, yeah, complete independently. Absolutely. But yes, I do that too. Or you could do that that green ring around the family if you want to do that. But still, I would check at the end that each one was 100%, you know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, so then these are the clearings you'd want to go through for that.
That'd be a cool package you could do as a family package.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. Clear the family dynamics.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes, because of issues with, you know, and you can just say, you know, is the father overbearing? You know,
yeah.
You know, children acting out, you know, and misbehaving. Is there addictions or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay, the next one up is physical. This is hysterical heritage, bloodline, and clan from maternal and paternal sides both feels as if a force you are not in charge of is controlling. So yeah, so it feels like there's something that's controlling you. You're not in charge of everything here. Yeah, transmitted through your DNA, your family as a group, similar to group mind, or group mind is a meme. That's what they call it. That has something to do with your natural ability to be loved and let love in. So how safe you are and the gauge of how safe or unsafe are the people around you affecting the information you feel. So a lot there, but yeah, it's around survival.
So why is this called physical as opposed to emotional?
Well, because it's blood. Blood is physical, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so coming through that bloodline, like the tangible, like the physical.
Yeah, and the DNA, because that's
DNA.
the
Yeah.
we get from the family. Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So yeah, survival and security are usually the big things here around issues.
Can you give an example of this, Marlene, of this one?
Yeah, let's see. So the family tends to be overweight, for example, and part of that survival security thing is you keep weight on because there could be a famine, like the people who went through that potato famine in Ireland.
Right.
Now they could be all overweight, or you know, maybe not, but just as an example. Or your family could, because that was really a strong thing for somebody and it really affected that person, and you know, people died and blah 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 in the family and stuff. So that's still there in the DNA, and now it's being sent to the rest of the ancestors.
I would say I have that on the female side, coming down the females in mine.
I would too, yeah, because the blood, that's where that comes.
Yeah, and there's a real survival security thing.
Yeah. Yep. And then
so if you saw like a cancer in a mother and a daughter and an aunt, right, the same cancer.
Yes. There you
right,
go.
that would be work through that, yeah, on each individual person's timeline. As a group and then individually?
Yes, as a group you could do, and then but make sure you do each individual. Yep.
Right.
And
then do the future.
Yeah, the future. Okay. And then go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and is that the idea that would, because we're kind of, you know, clearing the DNA, then the future generations.
Yeah, so we're going to go into DNA this afternoon, but that's right, because this DNA now is also going to be a factor in what we need to clear out the faulty programs out of DNA too. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, and then so this would be the clearing for it, although I've got energetic up here. It's supposed to say physical. Okay, so this is, yeah, survival and security. Again, that robot. Okay, bloodline, there's curses here. This is group mind. Curse, contracts, and then all of these emotions are here. Here's some anchors, implants, wormholes, auditory, and then you have the dark energies here, and their anchors. So clearing all that out over that issue. So if you have the overweight issue going on, you want to do this in the physical for people. So that would be the one you would check. And now, of course, if you had a weight problem, okay, and you could check, okay, is there anything in the mental timeline that's affecting weight? Yes, we do, you know, because it was an ancestor program there. Okay, so great. So we've got mental, we need to clear. How about emotional? Not getting that, no? Okay, you know, family, maybe not so much. Okay, energetic, no, but physical, yes. Okay, so now you know you've got mental and physical, so you're gonna clear both, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you do the top high picture and see what you want to clear. Okay, so that's physical. Now, karma. So again, this is on your chart for a timeline. It's the feeling of being suppressed and unable.
It's sounding like I'm trying to think of like, as if I were working with a client. So when I'm working with a client, if they have a very specific issue, you're going to want to start thinking timeline. So then you're checking this specific issue with respect to each of these timelines, correct?
Yes, around that issue. Yeah, exactly.
Around that issue. So, and then you would do this though, but after you've done your basic clearing of everything in entities on a general level, like bringing up your life force. But this would be more like a follow-up call where they had expressed a very specific problem or issue.
Yes, or even on the same session, because you're just going to go through their energy centers and attachments and get their life force up. Okay, now we're ready to look at what's the problem.
Yeah, and so is this where you would typically start most times once you've got your baseline done is through timelines?
Yes, but it's also on the amplification chart.
Yeah, I was going to say it's on the amplification. So this is just going into the timelines deeper if you want.
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
So you can just go on the amplification chart and say timelines. Oh, okay. Because it does say emotions, physical, energetic.
Yeah, because I'm already doing that. So again, I'm just trying to be conceptual so that that's sort of a checklist for me. I go into amplifications, but then we're just diving deeper into the different parameters of amplification.
Yes, exactly. So if you're getting a yes to something on timelines on the amplification chart, then it would, yes, to drill down deeper into the issue for that person. Yeah, definitely go to the chart, its own separate chart. Yeah, and then do that visualization of what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, and that's what I said before we got into the timelines, I said, just do the regular, clearing, just intend that you're clearing emotional timelines, right? So you get as far as you can go until you get to these charts. Okay, so then karma, the feeling of being suppressed and unable to fully be yourself and feel strangely pushed into difficult and challenging circumstances. From your essential nature, transferred from life force through to the blood. Okay, so it affects the cardio, involves unresolved jealousy, envy, shame, and betrayal. Karma is often thought of as a punishment in common thought, like a boomerang. If you do something bad, you get paid back in that life or a future life. It's largely true, but not punishment. More thinking of it as you have put a force of energy into motion, and that will continue until resolution or clearing, of course, is what we're doing here. So you're just kind of like that, boom, comes back, boom, comes back, right? So relationships, how the person relates to everything that has a signature of mind or will. So it could be people, country, organization, religion, so either an individual or a group karma here. So this is the clearing chart for karma. And again, it's the shooting dice kind of swirl. And you're kind of just going like that and clearing each of these items. There's a lot of different emotions going on here. And then anchors, and then some dark energies, bloodline, clan, a bunch of curses, and control energy. And then so this too, if you're getting a yes on karma, so now on the timelines, on the amplification chart that I gave you, timelines is not listing karma on here. It just stops after, it's got emotional, physical, and energetic, family, and mental. But we should probably put, and this would go on Lainey's template, I guess, under timelines, we should probably enter karma and cycles to check for timelines. Because we do have these as well. And It's not on the amplification chart, but it should.
Yeah, I noticed, Marlene, sometimes you were adding the cycles onto the end, like once you were into the timeline, you were just automatically checking the cycle of it, like how often it was repeating itself and clearing that pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah.
what you're meaning?
Mm-hmm.
Cycles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Uh-huh. So yeah. So add karma and cycles. Okay. So then clear that for karma. Plus you can do the karma clearing. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going down the amplification chart, what's causing this issues? Oh, I'm getting yes to, oh, karma time on timelines. Okay, so then that's where you can do that golden ring, filling in the top half and then the bottom half, and then, you know, the roses and the little bomb. You can do that too if you're finding karma. After you do that, there will be no karma left. So then cycles is the next area on timelines. So this is energy. It's in our energy. It's in the embodiment. So the, you know, the body, and then also in amplification. So that law of attraction, the what's amplified.
When you say energy embodiment, that sounds a little bit like contradiction to me, because
Oh, they are. It should be comma. Energy, embodiment, amplification. Yeah, what realm do you find these in? Yeah.
All right. Yes. Okay. So yes.
Yeah, it was.
Embodiment speaks to body, like so.
Yeah. Yeah. So cycles have a course of their own, directing, controlling circumstances and events to come together, unless a conscious, skilled shift ends the cycle. So it could be a breakthrough. Somehow they got like, oh my God, look what I've been doing, you know? It could be that. Or it could be a healer clearing it for them, you know, noticing it. Is transmitted from the field of amplification, also being directed by the aspect of life force, biological and natural, or created from repeated efforts. So yeah, it can be created, just, you know, repeated, something you do repeatedly.
What is the, is it the dice throw again? It's not on there. Same?
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh. Right twist. Okay.
Yep. Yep, and repeated complications. So abundance, lack of belief in what one can or achieve. Lack of belief in what one can have or achieve based on evidence of what has been done or ongoing feeling of limitation. So just repeated, it's just a repeating. So it's a repeat. Cycles is also, like it said, it's, you know, in the field of amplification. So it's on your amplification chart. Let's go to cycles. And yeah, something that's repeating on a loop, a pattern, out of the norm, when confronted with a specific circumstance or situation. So something that somebody just continually does, even though there's no rhyme or reason really, why are they doing that all the time like that? So it can be related to any cycle, including astrology. It could be, you know, like the moon cycles or whatever, bodily cycles, the menstruation, whatever, church calendar, things that they tell you, holidays, you know, we're on a cycle every December we get Christmas, you know, whatever, but sourced from the past, a past life, it's from self, sourced from the past life, influencing spirits and people. Typically, to have influence would have to have an emotional anchor and would have a group or individual significance here, including group mind agreements. So group mind thought you buy into. So you've got to clear here, right twist. You do have a lot of emotions here. You've got bloodline, soul contracts, demonic curses, evil spirit curses, atheist thought forms, and control energy. Here's a bunch of anchors here. And then you have your dark energies and their anchors here. So soul contracts, this is something I'm not sure if we went over too far into this, but this is something else that can go back a long time, about 100 different lifetimes or more. So here's where we've made some type of okay, so they're made with like Satan type energy, more like the Saturn astrology type Satan, you know, energy, whatever, but it's disruptive, challenging. It's an agreement that you've made with some type of form of darkness somewhere in the last 100 years or last 100 lifetimes, I mean, and you've agreed that you will let them have some type of control of your life or your health or something in exchange for whatever you agreed to. So this could be totally unconscious. They have no clue that they did this like 70 lifetimes ago. None, you know. We as a spirit and sometimes as a soul family agree to take on and learn from chaos in your field. So it can be passed down from your family. Not really liking that part, but so you can check, these can be in the millions. So if you were going to actually say, okay, how many contracts are there? You could actually get, you know, you could get, oh, I've got Jan again here. Okay. You could actually get like 1 million of these things, right? So if you're going to be counting down, you know, okay, I'm now at 700,000. Okay, well, okay, now I'm cleared down to 500,000. Okay, keep going, right? So, so this could be a big one. Now, bloodline is also typically a larger clearing too. It's got a large number. It's left a deeper impact of, you know, to the person. So, a lot of times when you're clearing, these are the two that I find that may take the longest. So you're going to want to make sure that they're clear before you go on. Spirals is one. It's also not on the amplification chart. You could add it, but it's really not one that you have to clear. It just is, and it's just something to know about. It's in these realms. Progression of life, so past and future experienced in the present moment, and it can allow for awakening or enlightenment. And there's nothing wrong with spirals, it just is, you know, and it's like the sunflower seed, you know, the you know, that Fibonacci, I think it's called, I believe. Past and future occurring simultaneously on an upward spiral and experienced in the present moment. Experienced through the halo or that golden rings. The third eye clairvoyant center of the head includes your senses, the sight, smell, taste. And for a brief time, you experience another reality, you know, like a past reality, and maybe in another dimension, maybe a lower or a future can be in a higher dimension. And the pressure that allows you to feel this shift can be sourced from emotion, waning life force, trauma, expanded awareness. Visually looks much like a spring with the spring under pressure coming together to reveal a past or a future event, or it could be felt like deja vu. So it's there, and here's the clearing chart here. There is, you know, yes, you can.
Would that explain why often people who've experienced trauma seem to have this springboard into higher dimensions or an altered sense of reality?
Yeah, I'm getting yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe if this is happening, you know, a lot to, you know, for somebody, then yeah, clear this. There's not a whole lot here, but there could be soul contracts. There could be plenty, you know, here. So yeah, so that definitely would be, and then that's that shooting dice. kind of thing. So you're going through that spiral, that timeline. And then see your future self. So if you could see and understand and own your advanced self in the future, you could leap ahead and bypass many steps, awakening your enlightenment. So I like that. So, you know, like if somebody asks, you know, did I have cancer in a past life? Well, timelines is about you, and it's something that you put on your timeline. So unlike DNA, which comes from more of, you know, your family. So you could ask, if you're asking in this sense, you know, are timelines affecting me with any relationship at all to cancer? So then you could say, yeah, there were 3 lifetimes ago where there was cancer involved or something like that. Then you would clear it off your timeline. But then you can also go into DNA, which we're going to be doing next. And then is there faulty programs in my DNA involving cancer? Yes, there are. How many, right? So, so we can clear it on the timeline so that it's off from your past, it's out of your past, it's out of your future, it's out of your current. It's going to be out of your current with, you know, DNA clearings of cancer out of the genes and so forth. But something as a you know, you and your timeline, the impact of the cancer, what impact did that have on your life 3 lifetimes ago when you got a yes there? So that's what you need to clear off the timelines, the impact of the event or the trauma from it. And then you go then into DNA and clear it out of the genes, out of the, you know, clear the cancer gene. So seeing your future self is pretty cool. I think, yeah.
Hi, I'm sorry, I must have missed it. What is the hand motion for that one?
Oh, there isn't. This is just kind of a seeing yourself. So the timeline thing is just, it's looking at this as a gift. All right. It's not really the design of the human blueprint that we're looking at here, but it was developed alongside of the blueprint to help us have a deeper understanding of our spiritual progression or awakening. So that you could actually see your own advanced self in the future, and you could, you know, if you could leap ahead, bypassing many steps along the way. Yeah. So you could test yourself for a lot of different things, and just see, is there a past life that is, you know, that's causing this, as, you know, affecting my challenge or issue in whatever area.
I find too, for me, what's starting to happen, instead of even testing for it, if I just stay open, like our timeline's affecting me with any relationship at all too, and then holding space like a blank and just paying attention to what comes through.
Sure. Yep. You can do that. And for some people who don't get hits yet, maybe they're, you know, this would be for them, because maybe some people aren't as intuitive as others. So just know that you don't have to get the hits. You don't have to know why. You can just use the chart, clear it. Yeah, test for it, use the chart and clear it. You know, it's not necessary to get those hits. It's definitely more expansive to get that knowledge, and then maybe other things can come up through that that you can have more clarity on and clear those. So that would be great. Or if your client is very curious and wants to know more about it, then maybe sit with it a little while longer, or do it offline so that you can, you know, get a conversation going with their higher self and just say, okay, what's going on here, you know? and you'll get it. So you're asking their body, right? You're asking the client's body, what is it, right? That's when we're muscle testing, we're asking really their higher self, give me the answers. What's going on with this person? You know more about them than I do. Tell me what's going on. So, so you can have that conversation with their higher self and get their information for them. So this is you. And you know, it's just kind of funny too, because I did an experiment once where we were a group of us, we stood up, you know, one at a time, and we would look at that person and we would see them shifting into different people and different carnations or incarnations of who they used to be. Like I stood up and I had people telling me that, you know, one time I got really tall, and I was a man. And so I was a really tall man. And then the next vision somebody had, I was an older woman. And I got shorter all of a sudden. My hair got really long and I was an older woman. For example, my husband, I saw him and he had on like a samurai outfit. He was, you know, obviously like, you know, Japanese or something. And he does have some Japanese and Chinese heritage, right? So he's part, you know, that one parent he was adopted, so he doesn't really know much about it. But it had a impact on him, even though he doesn't know anything about really his real mom or dad. It comes through. So he cooks stir fries. I mean, he does the Oriental thing he was brought up in regular, you know, his European ancestry household was the parents that he got adopted into, in a regular, you know, Southern California upbringing, you know, when he was young, right? So he had no influence whatsoever with Oriental. However, it's still there on his timeline, and a lot of things we had to clear, because they have real embedded beliefs about straight and narrow. Some things like, oh my gosh, you know, it doesn't have to be that rigid. Oh yes, apparently it does in their belief system. You know, the honor and the respect or whatever, it just goes like, serious? Even though he doesn't know where it comes from, and you know, and most things aren't, you know, it's not every day and it's not all occurrences, but once in a while something will come through and you're like, well, of course, you know, that's who you maybe used to be, right? Or you have that in your genes, or it's on your timeline. You were that person before in the past. So I thought that was real interesting to know that we aren't just the person that we look at. We see somebody.
I see that, yeah, my husband's German, and I can see the German cultural stuff coming through so profoundly. Like it's so not even him.
Oh.
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like they're trying to be obnoxious or anything.
It's a lot of control energies, but it's very German.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
He's not really himself, I don't think, a controlling person, but it comes through in such a deep way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so what I would say then is to, do the timelines and see if something, you know, is his being, I'm not going to say obnoxious, but maybe just, that's the only word I got.
No, that's okay.
Okay, I don't mean it. I'm sure he's not, but let's just say.
But the entity is, the energy of it is, he's not. But
yeah.
Yes, it's very, and it's really obnoxious because it's so out of alignment with who I see him as really being.
Yeah.
But it's coming through him, and I have that understanding, but it's, like, so clearing that timeline, because it's not personal, it's not about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is controlling us though. And this is what the part of it is in the big picture is how are we being controlled?
And I'm being controlled by it. And then when we do the energy share, we can see where then we have these shared energies, and the shared energies are not even just with that person, but with their own timelines. It's crazy. It just goes on and on.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and we all have them. We all have our little quirks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
Layers.
looking at it from that perspective, it's a miracle that we're doing as well as we are, you know, and getting along as well as we are with what we're given. So with this, with this information, it is a gift, and knowing how to get out of that control so that we're not twisted around always, you know, like moving to whatever it is that we've always went there because the cycle said to do it. Now we're doing it again, you know. Yeah, so getting out of the matrix, getting out of duality, getting out of control, getting out and getting your clients out of what's going on too. So with their life. So these are all the ones that can be added. I guess karma, cycles, and spirals can be added to that template. So we can add those to our templates under timelines then too. And then if you, you know, put in what the clearings are, if you want to do that from the charts, I'll send you the charts, like I said, or the slides here. So you've got these. I actually have it in just a Word doc format, so that might even be easier than the slides. So actually, I'll just put that on here, the Word doc, or maybe you want both. I don't know what, but I can send the Word doc here too. So if you want to use the Word doc to use it as a something to check it off from or type on, you know, make notes on it, that might be easier than doing the slides. So, okay, timelines. I'll save this and I'll send it to you as well. Okay. That's that. Okay, so let's stop and just, is there any other additional questions on timelines before we end this section? I get a no? All right, I think we should stop here and take lunch, and then we're gonna go and do DNA after lunch. That's a big part, real big section of this training, so that's going to take the rest of the day. So we're going to break for lunch. Let me stop share here, and I'm going to end this particular session on Zoom, so then the recording will start to render, and then come back in on the afternoon link. So if y'all, Margot, I can't hear you.
At 12:30?
Yeah, let's do an hour. If there's emails or anything you have to get to, or, you know,
Awesome.
lunch
Thank you.
or whatever. But yeah, let's do an hour, 12:30 or whatever it is for you, wherever you're at, 1 hour, and we'll meet back on the PM link. So if something happens, you can use my number and text me. Since I'm not really checking emails while we're going through here, if you text me, like a couple of you have done, then I can see if there's an issue going on or whatever. But, you know, if you can't find the email, you need the link or something like that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to end this session, and we'll meet back here on the PM link in 1 hour, okay?
Bye, everyone.
Good job, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.